Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? Testing one, two. You good up there?
I'm good.
That's what's up. Welcome back. Open Perspectives with Nixx Abstract Vision. We live once again, another beautiful Sunday. Um, just want to say welcome, everybody. We got a guest coming on today. I don't want to keep this man waiting. He's in the back chat, so I'm going to add him into the stream. Halifax's very own, if you read the title, DeRico Symonds. Let's bring this man through right quick. Nixx, you good, by the way?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I can hear you. I'm good. I can hear everything's copacetic over here.
Word. All right, cool. Let's do this. Here we go.
What up?
Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? What's good, my brother?
What's good? Can you hear me?
Long time no see, player.
Been a minute.
Clear. Loud and clear. Yeah. Welcome. Just want to say welcome. Hold on. Let me just move this around. Welcome, to Open Perspectives. Just want to say thank you for coming through today. I reached out to you. You immediately got back to me, and you know what I mean? And we worked something out with the schedule, so appreciate that. This is a little production that myself and Nixx got going on here. I don't know, Nixx, you want to jump in? And
Bruh, basically, hopefully, what we plan to do is just bring light to all the viewers, many different perspectives of stuff. We've got conversations over here most people think about but ain't willing to talk about. Whether they're out there shy, they're whatever, you know what I mean? Like there's so many, that's a whole rabbit hole in itself that we can go down, but we don't need to do that. We just want to bring to light those discussions that most people don't talk about, but at the same time, we have fun with it. We talk about other things. We talk about everything. It's open perspective. It's an open book over here. And I myself will say, I know that you're out here putting in your work in the community, and you've been doing that for a minute now. But I want to let you know before the whole show starts that I am a student today, and because I don't know too much about what you got going on, so I'm definitely learning today. I'm in the learner's curve for this episode, and I'm willing to hear what you got going on.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate both of y'all, even for being asked to come on to the podcast. It's been a minute since I've seen Nixx, though, but still, love is always the same, brother. Love is always the same.
Likewise.
yeah, we like reuniting people. That's one of the points too of doing this is to strengthen our network. You know what I mean? To the networks that we have over here, we gotta build them resiliently. We can't just let them blow in the wind. We gotta, keep these bonds alive. So you want to take a minute and I did want to really quick, just for posterity, I'm just gonna share my screen, and I got something right here. I just want to quickly pull up your webpage just to show the fam, everybody watching at home. You know what I mean? We dealing with, real community folk here, real people who are in these streets that are over here making changes, over here doing stuff. So when you get a chance, everybody, all the viewers, everybody that's going to check us out now and later, DeRicoSymonds.ca, go check them out online, because you know what I mean, you got a good bio, and it's all love on here. So
thank you.
Just
appreciate it.
Go link that up. But yeah, you want to introduce yourself to the people and tell us who you are?
Sure. So DeRico Symonds, 7th generation African Nova Scotian, born in the pubs, a lot of different communities, though I like to call home or second home. My mother's from Mulgrave Park. My father's from North Preston. My grandmother's from Beachville. My grandfather's from Hammonds Plains. So I'm kind of around the way. For employment, I work for provincial government. So I work in the Office of Equity and Anti-Racism Initiative, so provincial government in Nova Scotia. In the office, my role is senior executive advisor to the deputy minister. And a few other things in terms of employment-wise is that I do what's called impact of race and cultural assessments. So for specifically Black people who have found themselves in trouble with the law, we write cultural assessments to kind of show how they have been disadvantaged based on racism, discrimination, and how the system has treated them because they're Black. And so we really give the judge and the courts a full picture of this person that's sitting in front of them, rather than simply just a charge, is normally how it goes. I founded 2 nonprofits, one called Game Changers 902 with Trey Clayton, Kate McDonald. The other is called ACE, ACCE, Arts, Community, Culture, and Economics, and co-founder. So I didn't do these by myself. I want to make that clear for the record. And then as well, basketball was my thing. Ball is not really life anymore, so I don't really play that much, but QEH, played basketball at Mount St. Vincent University. I did an undergrad there, child and youth study. I did a master's in counseling as well. So I am certified to do therapy. I just don't really do it, but I support like when, shit goes down in the community and that type of thing. So keep it there. I'm sure we'll get into all kinds of, different things, but I would say that I'm a community person who works in the government. That's what I tell them every day. I'm Black from the community and I work in the government. I'm not a government employee who's Black. I think there's a difference.
That's what's up. Oh, I'm actually interested in that distinction. What made you develop that distinction? You know what I mean? Like, how do you see those two different dichotomies?
Definitely, man. Because the reverse around being a government employee who's Black, you're part of the system. You become a part of the system. You become complacent with the issues that are affecting the community. You're not on the ground talking to the people. You can't actually go to the hoods in the communities. You're just a government employee who's Black that works there. And I think the difference for me is that I can go to these communities. I know the people, and I'm actually doing work outside of the government. So the only work is not just government work that I'm doing. And so I think that one of the big differences is that someone who's Black that works at government, that's just all that you do. You're just a government employee. You come in, clock out, go home. And you don't really touch
not to cut you off.
Yeah,
not to cut you off, but there's some policies around that too. You know what I mean? Am I correct that, even some of these jobs, they have policies where like you can't do.
Man, trust me, like I'll tell you a story. So like it's exactly like that. So I worked in municipal government for 5 years. So I managed the youth advocate program, community crime prevention program, like high risk youth, all that type of thing. And so when the George Floyd stuff was happening, we organized the march, but like we organized it. I did it from my personal email. I organized it on a Saturday. Like we did everything we're supposed to do. And I was actually said to Lindell, I'm like, yo, I'm probably going to get fired on Monday. Like, watch this. And so when I came in, my supervisor, sure enough, brought me into the office and she said, these are exact words. So she said, DeRico, you need to step down from talking about racism. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And she goes, well, I swear to God, she goes, the CAO, lawyers, and the director of our department, they were all had a meeting and discussing if you should have been leading the march. And I said, you realize this exact same thing we're marching about is exactly what you're doing right now. And she said, well, the thing is that if this is a direct quote. She said, if people find out you're working for Parks and Rec department, you're going to make the department look bad. And so then like, I swear, so I'm sitting there like,
you're stunned. Making the department look bad right now, lady. Like,
this is what I'm saying. So I'm sitting there stunned, and like, again, like I care about this stuff deeply. So after she left, I'm sitting there a little teary-eyed, like, damn, like we were just marching in these streets, and I come in here, and then you're trying to press me about we're just marching because Black people are getting killed by the police. And so there are policies within government, especially where I'm in provincial, because you have to be seen as nonpartisan. And so if any of the parties were doing something cool and I wanted to go publicly support it, I'm technically not allowed to do it. I've always pushed the envelope, or I've always pushed the rules because, like I said, I'm a community person first. And so I don't care about the fucking parties. Like, I don't care who's in and who's not. I'm just care about what needs to happen. So there are policies around all of that stuff. And people get pressed for it all the time. People, like my social media, I get questioned about that at work all the time. I just care about what needs to happen. And like, yeah, like, so you're supposed to be careful, but like, I am who I am, like I am who I am.
You gotta live your values,
Yeah.
You gotta live your values. That's one way that I like to put it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, people want you to step outside your values just to keep a 9 to 5 and stuff like that. It's like, man.
Have you dealt with stuff like that often within your job?
Yeah, like all the time, because like I'm the person who I'm like, man, I don't care. Like I like, and you know, part of that is because folks like Robert Wright and a couple other people like Landon McLean, like they say, like to survive in a white institution, you can't have all your income in one place. And so, you know, I'd be prepared to get fired for supporting what I believe to be right at any point because I have income in other spots. And so I've dealt with this shit forever. Like, because I'm just not a person who's quiet, and I'm not a person that just blends in with the machine. And so like municipal government, Phoenix youth programs, everywhere I worked, you know, even coming into provincial government, I was asked questions. Like I was asked about who I know in the community, what are my affiliations with certain people. I was asked to actually step down from doing some of the game changers work. I was asked a lot of stuff, and I just said no. If that's a stipulation for me to come work in the provincial government, then I'm not coming. And then after I didn't back down, it was like, okay, well, we can work around it, and it all got softened. But like, it happens all the time, and I'm surprised, and I know it's not just me. But again, this is something where somebody wouldn't want to speak about it because they'd be scared about. But like, it's true. Like,
losing their job, scared of losing the job. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of that fear got a lot of people, you know, quiet. Let's say.
Yeah, definitely.
Quiet. Yeah, and it's a reality too. For some of us, it's a reality. I'm just gonna say for some of us that don't have multiple, you know, facets of income, multiple streams of income, it's a reality. That fear of like, oh my gosh, if I speak up, like I can't pay my bills next month, like, you know. So we got to even work around that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What made you, like, what was that moment that made you even say to yourself, like, listen, like, I'm gonna ride for my community, you know, regardless of what's going on. Like, and let's not be shy. You was nice at ball too. You nice. So yeah, like you yeah. What made that transition happen? What was the day that you just said to yourself, you know what, like, I know what I need to be doing over here?
Yeah, like, so I don't know if there was an exact day, but probably a combination of a lot of different things. And so we know a lot of the same people. And so, you know, definitely a combination of, you know, what was happening in my house. Like, you know, we were poor, we didn't have shit, but my mom made sure we had what we needed. And so that was one. But then seeing friends go to jail, seeing friends die, seeing friends, you know, get shot, like all of the above. And so I'm around this, but then I'm thinking like, I'm thinking like, how can I just wanted to help. And so like, it was a combination of shit that was happening, really at like the right and wrong time, because like even in university, like I was living two lives, because like I'd go back home to the pubs, it'd be just fucking chaos, and then like I'd have to go to university and expect to be prim and proper and have to do what I need to do in university. And like I didn't speak to anybody my first year, like because I wasn't used to that environment. So I was living like two different lives. And really in university, I would say it's kind of like when I grew into the person that I knew I was going to be like for the rest of my life. And so I matured in that particular space, because I was out of the environment that, I mean, I grew up in and I was used to. And so I think it was a combination of just like life experiences that kind of led me to where I am. And I mean, I would say as well too, like St. Andrew, like the rec center, like I started going there when I was 5, like, and I had a stepfather, but like not, you know, I didn't like my father, we don't have a relationship, like, and so like I found mentors and I found people who kind of took me in and took me under, and that kind of led to me wanting to do some of the similar things that those folks are doing. So I'd say like a combination of a whole bunch of different things that happened that just kind of like led me in that path, because I've never had no other job other than working in community. I started working at the rec center. Actually, I started working at the rec center. Minimum wage was like $6.25 or $6 something an hour. So like, bro, I started with 1 hour a week.
Dating yourself right there. That's dating yourself.
Bro, 1 hour a week. That's what I started with. 1 hour a week.
It's $6.
And went from there.
That's
So I've
crazy.
never been
That's
asked that
crazy.
question before, though. So I got to think about that if there actually was a moment, because I've never thought about that before. But I'm thinking off the top, it was just like a
Sounds
bunch
like
of
you
different.
grew into it, bro. Sounds like it was always your calling. You telling me you was on like your first job was community work. Like it's probably where you're supposed to be at, brother. Real, like for real.
I mean, it's going right now. So
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
plan
You
on.
do a good job. Like you know.
Appreciate that. I don't plan on changing
Yeah.
careers at all.
No, man, you gotta stay. We gotta stay at it, man. Stay strong with it. You know what I mean? Keep it going.
Definitely. It's hard as shit though. Like it's hard. Like I'll be honest. On the way here, like because I just came from Pat Stay's funeral. Then on the way here, I got a phone call about another person. Because in Mulgrave Park, a woman named Robin Sear passed away yesterday, and so like about how can I set up a GoFundMe or whatever to try to support her family because she left 3 kids,
Mm-hmm.
all at
Goodness.
various ages, and so like this again is like a black employee or an employee who's black that works in government. This is part of the difference. Is because like
Yeah.
I'm going to work in the Office of Equity and Anti-Racism, but I'm actually doing the work outside of my government hours and government
Mm-hmm.
time. And like
Yeah.
that's what I think the real work is. Because now when I'm sitting at the desk and I'm actually doing the shit and talking to the
Yeah.
people,
Typing a
like
report or
yeah, like it's not just me. Like it's all these community experiences and all these different things that I know people are experiencing firsthand. And so like I just feel like it makes me a more well-rounded in terms of doing that work because I'm not just a part of the machine. I live outside of it. I just happen to work there 5 days a week.
word.
You're really in the field with it, not just a cubicle.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you, man, like you're saying, like just even the things that you're mentioning is just, hard to go through, hard to deal with, hard to process, hard to, bounce back from, hard to get back to regular life, just that's what's up. And supporting people through those processes, our community definitely needs that.
For sure.
Definitely. Man, I know that you were heavily involved in the National Black Canadian Summit. I saw you there. You delivered the Halifax Declaration. You were helping to deliver the Halifax Declaration. You're also the director or the
I was what did they call me?
yeah, a nice little title. Yeah, nice title.
Co-chair.
Yeah, co-chair. That's not like a nice title. Co-chair. Co-chair. That's a great title. I'm curious to know how you got involved with the Michelle Jean Foundation and all of that, the National Black Canadian Summit, and even just what's the importance of the impact for events like those, events like these.
So this started like years ago. So I went to the one in Ottawa, and this is actually in Ottawa is when the whole Game Changers thing was born because we experienced racism in Parliament. You might have heard Trey talk about this before.
Right.
And so we attended that summit there, and then Madame Jean was asking, and the foundation was asking, like, where should the next one be? And all the Scotians were all looking around like, it's got to be in Halifax. Like, and so we started advocating for that well before the summit even happened. And so they changed people, like some people left the foundation, new people came in, and they reached directly out to those who were involved before. And they actually asked me, like they asked myself and Vanessa Fells, would we want to co-chair it? And really some of those responsibilities are just like making sure like we had that Scotian flair, like making sure like young people are involved, and making sure that like there's a historical piece so people know about the Black presence in Nova Scotia. And I think like the importance of the National Black Canadian Summit, first of all, like just to think about it, like and take stock that we're talking on a national and an international scale, just simply about the issues that Black people are facing. Not local, we're talking international because we even had United Nations, we had a whole bunch of different people in the room. And so that's the overall kind of like big importance, but then also like the trickle effect, the things that we won't see. Like people are going to feel more empowered. People are going to be more connected. Networks are going to grow. And they ran some numbers in the debrief, and I think in that particular weekend, just from all the folks being there, it was 1.2 million to the economy just from that weekend from the summit. Crazy,
Yeah,
crazy.
That's cool.
that is crazy.
That's amazing. That's incredible. I interviewed a few of the participants and people that were there throughout the weekend, and one young lady, she it was like the greatest experience of her life going to that summit. She was from Ottawa. She got a little brother. They in life, and yeah, going to that conference and being able to dress up and see all these black, beautiful, intelligent, strong black people all together in one place, just like shining. Yeah, she said it was like basically one of the best experiences of her life, and that to me is like those little trickles, that little pebble in the pond that like creates those ripples that some of those things that doesn't necessarily get quantified, you know what I mean, but it happens, those interactions happen, those things, those moments happen. So yeah, man, I thought it was cool too, man. It was just, it was something awesome. 2 million off of us. Nova Scotia making money off of us.
They're still crunching, but she said that's what they're thinking. It's
wow.
around there, and it
just goes to people were going out, man. People were spending money. People was that's what's up. Sorry, don't cut you off.
No, they were doing everything, like trying to do everything that the city had to offer, and really, it goes to show though, like if like our buying power, like the power we actually have, because it was like black community from all over, and so imagine if we did that here more. How much money we could actually put in the hands in black communities, because I know the dollar in the black community, I don't know the stats, but I know it doesn't stay in the black community long. It goes in.
No, it's not. It's not doing the thing it does in other communities. It's not bouncing around. It's not doing that. Yeah, it's not. No, we don't. That's group economics. That's something we gotta. I mean? That's another fight we gotta work on. That's another thing we gotta work on. Group economics, which is very interesting. Me and Nixx were just in a wedding this weekend, and I was doing everything last minute per usual, and I had to find a tailor, but I found a black-owned seamstress over here in Clayton Park. Never found, first time in the whole city, I found one black-owned seamstress. She had her business for 30 years. Her name's Paula's Place. Shout out to Paula's Place. She came through clutch with the pants.
Never even heard of it.
I know people never heard of it. It's just like this little shop over here in Clayton Park. But yeah, man, Paula's Place. She had it for 30 years. You know what I mean? And it was nice to go in there, just talk to her, support her business, and just to talk to her. But she could be in this conversation with us right now. You know what I mean? Because she was saying the same things we're saying about. And that's why I like the heading on your website: community commitment, collaboration. Community commitment, collaboration, like those pillars, man, we gotta build those.
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's like a big conversation I think that could be had around, how our community or like, here's how I put it. Like, I'll just be blunt. Like, when I think about this, is that I don't know, and I don't know the stats on this, but I'm gonna just say what I feel like I'm seeing is that we fight a lot amongst in our own communities. But when I think about any other racialized community, I don't know if they're shooting and killing and fighting and robbing each other at the same rate that we're doing it to each other.
They're not.
Like it's just when I think about all of the shootings that we all know about and all of the deaths, I'm just like, man, really? Like,
we're not. They definitely ain't letting that. They definitely ain't letting the public know if they are, but I'm pretty sure they're not.
It's and it's like when you like once I started to like really learn about like the history of like black people and like what we come from, I'm like, God damn, like it changes your perspective. And like I had the opportunity to go to Africa. That shit was crazy. Like that, like
how was that?
Where'd you go?
Senegal in West Africa.
That's cool.
Like I got off.
I know some Senegalese people.
Like, it's craziness. Because like I've never been in a space where like, or a place where I'm the majority. And so it's a weird feeling. So I got off the plane, walked out, and I just honestly just started tearing. I'm like, oh shit. Like
I love it.
this is crazy.
I love it.
It's nothing like what TV shows you. Like
No.
I can't even almost put it into words. Like in like the statues and shit that's everywhere, like all black people, and like everybody is black, and so like you feel like at home. Like I started seeing people that I thought looked like people from Scotia. Like it's crazy. Like it's crazy. And then we got to meet like a bunch of other young people from different parts of the world, like UK, like everywhere, Belize, like just places that you'd never think to meet other people at. And it was a United Nations thing. And so like I got to go.
So cool.
I got to go. Like I was the only person from Canada, so I got to go, and like I was Canada basically. That's what they called me. So we got to like share. We got to share like what's happening in our respective countries for young black people to every African government, which was also like a really cool because everybody's black. Like I'm looking like it's. I don't know. I can't put it into words. I can tell you I've been chasing that high ever since I've been there.
Yeah, I've been to Jamaica one time, and I had that feeling as well. Just being surrounded by everybody dark, everybody black, everybody just it's just it's a immersive feeling. It's an immersive feeling. It feels like
you guys are lucky. Not lucky. I ain't closest I've been to Jamaica was Toronto. For real.
Let's go. I'm telling you though, I would love to go to Africa. I'd love to go to
crazy
kinds of places in Africa. Ethiopia
has a really interesting history because it's the only place that's never been colonized.
Super interesting history.
And like
super interesting.
Want to know why? I just found this so there's this document called the Doctrine of Discovery, and I feel like everyone needs to know about this because it's part of the basis for why indigenous people like they're not turning over the land. And so the Doctrine of Discovery was like way back, and it was called a papal bull. So it was by the Pope, and so the Pope said you can go anywhere in the world and you can conquer and have this land regardless if there's inhabitants on there, because you're spreading the word of the Christian faith. And so go anywhere, no matter who's living there, and claim the land. And so that land then became what we know today. So think about crown land. What's crown land? Yeah. Well, if we start peeling back the layers, when we know about the Doctrine of Discovery, and so then if we think about if the Doctrine of Discovery got reversed, well, the land would need to go back to the indigenous people. So Ethiopia wasn't colonized because when they got there, they were already Christian, but they were black. And so they couldn't colonize a land where people were already of the faith that they were trying to convert everyone to.
Yeah, Ethiopia has a very long history of Christianity.
Yeah.
It goes back to basically the beginning of Christianity.
Yeah.
It's super Orthodox. Some people believe they got the Ark of the Covenant there. I'm just getting into all kinds of stuff, but that's that's other topics. But yeah, Ethiopia, and that's what I mean. They got like Lalibela, the temples that they got there are incredible. Yeah, it'd be an amazing experience to go there. It'd be amazing. Even in Senegal, like you said, the statues in Senegal. Yeah, man. Word.
Very crazy. Very crazy.
You ever going back?
Oh, I'm definitely going back. Like, no question. I need to go back. I need to see more. And I need to see more of what I feel like I was deprived of, just like in school. Because like they don't teach none of this shit in school. And they don't teach that. They only teach that black people were conquered. And then, there was Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and then everybody was free. That's all the history right there in 10 seconds. That's all that they teach us. And so, yeah, like I got to go back. I mean, when the time is right, when, kids are a little older and that kind of thing, like, yeah, because they got to see it too.
No, for real. show the kids how we did it. You know what I mean? The kids got to see it too. And I agree with you. They try to strip our whole history away. Like, you know what I mean? Like the people from the African continent never basically created every society on earth. You know what I mean? Like, they try to take our history from us, man. They trying to, and and you know, that's one of the, personally, this is just some of the things that I see anecdotally, is that that's one of the reasons why we are running from our blackness and our heritage, is because of the amount of like propaganda, lies, and everything that we've been fed. You know, that Africa is hungry and flies on the belly and all this other stuff, and you know, we don't want nothing to do with that. But that's not even the truth. You know what I mean? So, you know, even stuff I was saying to Nixx before, like our people knew how to deal with droughts and famine and all that kind of stuff based off indigenous teachings and practices that they had for thousands of generations and whatnot. It isn't until these colonizers come, separate the generations from their history, you know.
Fuck it all up.
If you think about it, it is like somewhat conditioning too. Like they're showing us these commercials. They're associating like you can't really speak now for some generations, like the newer generations, but us, you associate everybody who looked like us was associated with living in the hood. That was you know, low poverty. Then you got us watching TV commercials and other places that we see people that look like us that are living in poorer conditions.
World Vision, UNICEF like commercials.
Yeah, so then you kind of, you know, you kind of get desensitized and conditioning and thinking like that's all that we are in a sense. And then come to find out that you got some very, very wealthy locations in Africa, like cities that got crazy wealth and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so yeah, it's crazy, man. For me, it all sums up. It all boils down to conditioning, and basically, you know, programming and trying to keep us at a low level.
Definitely.
I mean, outside the box to even like realize, yo, it's much more than what they're really showing us and shit. Like,
yeah, like the way I would put it is so like any system, name any the education system, justice, when any of them systems were being developed, Black people were considered property, not considered human. And so do you think that, you know, white man Joe is going to ask a Black person, you know what, like, what do you think you would want to see in this education system to make this work? Like,
what are your views on education?
You know, absolutely not. And like, the last segregated school in Nova Scotia was called the Mary E. Cornish School. It was only torn down in 2014, and I think it was 1988. I think was when it actually like sort of like ceased to exist. And the last residential school in Canada closed in Saskatchewan in 1983. And like these things they didn't happen a long time ago. And I mean, they're still happening today. Like, example I give around justice system is that like the justice system itself started on slave catchers and night watch, which was white men on horses to protect the property and put Black people back into indentured servitude. So then
the origins of the police force.
Exactly. And so then that morphed into Halifax Regional Police. RCMP started as taking Indigenous children to the residential centers. I don't call them schools anymore, residential centers. That formalized into the RCMP. And so like the roots of all this policing shit started in racism to capture Black and Indigenous people.
Police and Black and brown bodies,
It's deep.
Nah. I agree. In Nova Scotia, that's one other thing I was trying to mention too, maybe previously on other shows, is that Nova Scotia had built-in laws. Like the people that were creating laws in Nova Scotia were creating laws that were separating us, just like antebellum South stuff, you know?
Bro, Black people couldn't be on jury until 1940, and so like there's a person named Daniel Perry Sampson, and there's a whole story on it. So he was convicted of the murder of 2 young white kids 5 months after the murder happened. And my man couldn't read or write. And I'm not saying he didn't do it, but he couldn't read or write. And his only contribution to his written confession was he put an X beside his name. He didn't even write it.
Good
And the jury was all white. And they asked the jury, "Are you prejudiced against skin color?" They all said yes. And the man was convicted and hung publicly outside in the Nova Scotia courts on Spring Garden. And he was the last person to be hung in Halifax. Look him up, Daniel Perry Sampson.
Holy, I did not know that.
And black people couldn't be on the jury until 1940. So this happened previous to that. So we weren't even allowed to be a part of the jury. And even the jury process now, like if a black person was being convicted, we have to prove that we don't have any ties to this person that's being tried. But you know how small the black community is. So it's almost impossible to find black people that aren't related or connected in some way.
Yeah. My goodness. Wow. Like once you get into the intricacies, you can really see the distinction of what, you know what I mean? Like we talk about it, but sometimes we don't know the exact details. You know what I mean? Like what's in the law books, how it actually went down, you know, real situations. And like,
Because a lot of that is kept from us on purpose, even though some of it is, you can access some of it, but they try their hardest to keep certain things, and a lot of it, if not all, away from because you see how fast knowledge spreads. So once everybody catches wind of something, that's a whole game changer in itself right there. So what are they going to do? Try their best to keep that stuff from us. They're not going to have it in the average person is going to literally just think, let me go to the library and see what we know, Black history books and stuff like that. You want to get deep into that stuff, you're probably not going to find it in your public library. Like honestly,
Facts.
Especially in a place that's filled with white society. Like
Facts.
You're not going to find it like that. You got to dig deeper, and that's the whole point, really. Like just digging deeper into it ain't roots for nothing, right? You got to get down there.
Exactly. And I had to think that it ain't roots for nothing. You got to get down there. Still got bars.
Yeah, that's what's up. Wordsmithing. That's what's up, man. Nixx, you still got it though. You do got it.
Just saying though, man, it's that deep. Like you gotta. That's how they hide it from us. That's just in my opinion. I feel like it. Like it's acquired. You can acquire it because there's brothers such as yourself, DeRico. Like you know what I mean, and Wiggins too, man. You guys there's a lot of information that y'all spit that a lot of us don't know. And I am saying us because I'm learning a few things today myself, right? So, it's definitely out there. You can get your hands on it. It's just how you try to get your hands on it. Trying to these public spaces and stuff that we got that claim to be helping us is not really for us like we think they are. That's just the simple. It is what it is.
But think about going through a whole system from primary to grade 12. You might have a Black teacher. I didn't. And then you're only being taught that Black people were enslaved and Black people were conquered. And then on the reverse, because think about, so we and this is a bit around what Robert Wright says. Like we learn a lot around what the effects of slavery were on Black people. But what's the reverse for white people, right? Like what did they inherit? What's it?
No, it's all good. Yeah, that's the life, though. That is the life. That is life, and that is the life right there. That's what it's about. Definitely.
He was just coming down to give me a hug. So anyway, yeah. And so if we think about we've learned that we were enslaved, we were conquered, and white people learned that they were the conquerors. And so, what people start to develop, some people, like some Black people, may start to develop that lower bit of self-esteem. I'm less than. I'm that can fuck you up psychologically. And then on the flip side, well, white people are learning that they ran shit. They were
that they own everything they lay their hands on, and
exactly.
We've seen this on the weekend, Nixx. We saw that on the weekend. I'm just saying, there was a small little incident where we saw, somebody acting like they own shit that they didn't own.
what happens when you tell that person, yo, that's not you.
Yes.
They're all offended. What you mean? Like, I can't.
All offended. All offended, bro. He took it to the, he was like trying to fight it to the death, and everybody that was in the circle was saying, they're not yours. It's not yours, no matter how you shake it down. Anyway.
But that's that though. But that happens all the time. And even like so if you told that exact same story to a white man, watch what that response would be. Well, like they'll question, was it really racism? Because they feel that they're so right and have always been right that they can actually question your whole lived experience and existence. Oh, well, Alvaro, like, are you sure that like it wasn't or nothing could have been his? Rather than just saying
a mistake or a misunderstanding, or
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than just being like, man, that's fucked up, and like he shouldn't have, like they'll question your whole literally existence.
I mean, that's what they do, right? That's what they do. That's their only. It's kind of like a back to the wall tactic. When you know you can't say nothing else, that's what you're going to resort to. You trying to prove your dominance with ownership.
So for me, I like trying to focus on solutions, and that is that misprogramming or that like fucked up programming is a big problem in our community. Just from your perspective, D, like how do we, what are some solutions? How do we combat that miseducation? You know what I mean? Like, what's a strategy to start, I don't know, reprogramming ourselves, or, like, what do you think?
Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of different angles and different ways. So, I mean, first thing, like, I know there's been many conversations and there are some teachers that do this, but like we need our history needs to be embedded into the curriculum. So African Canadian studies can't just be an elective, because still history is mandatory to take, but you can decide to take African Canadian studies. And so the correct history. The thing is that we need to be honest about what happened in history and tell it, because my thing, especially with children, is if you're old enough to experience it, well, you're old enough to learn about it. And so if Black children are old enough to experience it, well, white children have to be old enough to learn about it. So I think that we need to actually start teaching right from the beginning, because we're actually start conditioning. The conditioning starts young, and kids already know the difference between skin color and everything. And they start saying, "Oh, your skin looks like poop," and blah. Like they know. And so we need to do age appropriate teaching, I believe, from the beginning within the education system. I also think a big thing is that we need to have so when I couldn't afford to play basketball, I could fill out a kid sport thing, boom, $200. My fee would get paid, and Coach David wouldn't be bothering me about the fees. And so, but if I'm looking for therapy, what am I going to do? If I'm looking for mental health support, I can't fill out the same thing and get free therapy. I have to wait in a line that might take 2-3 months before we get there. And then on top of that, we need to have culturally appropriate mental health supports, because I'm not going to say that there's not good therapists who are white or, who are not Black, because there are, but you don't understand the unique experience that I might have as a Black man. And so I would think that the same way that we're able to access supports in that way for like sports, we should be able to also access that for mental health, because, man, like you guys know, like we're going to junior high school, and like, man, people's coming from like craziness, and then coming to school, to school, and then expected to just be able to learn, like, and it's just like, yo, like I just walked out the house when such and such was beating up my mother. I just walked past caution tape because someone just got killed in my neighborhood. And then I need to come. Didn't
even eat breakfast, and didn't even eat breakfast. Yeah,
that shit trickles down into school.
Exactly,
stuff comes to school, and then like I can't even remember.
That's how I end up telling off a teacher. Right? That's how I end up telling off a teacher. That path you just described is how I end up telling off a teacher.
Yeah.
The amount of times like what they had Wiggins, you probably remember sitting in class, mind your business, doing your work or something. Next thing you know, the PA comes on and they saying some shit like green and gold code is in effect, and I'm thinking it's party time or something. Meanwhile, they're talking about shutting down and locking all the doors to the school because some foolishness is going on or something. But yeah, man, like definitely, like I agree on you. I agree with you with that. The mental health stuff, like for sure, because like growing up, a lot of us should have had more support in that field, in that realm, in that like for real, man. Like,
and just knowing that it's okay to seek that type of support
that
too. I'll be honest. You mentioned his name a couple times. First time I ever met Robert Wright, I was I guess like 17 years old. It was in high school. My sister had just passed away, and you know, people like wanted me to talk to him, and I just said, "Fuck that! I ain't doing it." You know what I mean? Like I just shut it down, right? Like, just because I thought I was like, you know, too tough to talk about my feelings or whatnot. You know what I mean? Or how sad I was or whatever. Wasn't until my older adult life that I actually sat down with Robert, you know, and worked on a bunch of stuff.
Brilliant, man.
Worked on a bunch of stuff. Worked on all kinds of things. It helped me get to the place I'm at right now, just in terms of my, like, you know,
it's definitely needed.
Just my own power, my own personal power to know what I can do. And you know what I mean? And anyhow, I should have did it when I was 17. That's all I'm saying. I should have did it when I was 17. You know what I mean? And having that example of somebody, you know what I mean? Just a nice. And so that's my goal too, is to maybe help, you know, somebody younger not make the same little silly mistakes I did based off of whatever. You know what I mean? Fake little macho-ness and this, that, and the other thing. You know what I mean? Trying to, you know.
And I mean, ain't no maybe, bro. You're doing it. You're doing it now.
That's
you're doing it now. So there ain't no maybes about it. You're doing it. And so I think that you can think about, like, you know what I mean, like the biggest gangsters in the neighborhood. Like, these brothers is hurting. Like, hurting, like hurting. And so think about once I'm out there with my friends and when I go home and lay my pillow down at night, I'm hurting. And there might not be anybody at home. Mother, some blah blah blah, might be on drugs. Like, there's nobody there to care for me. And so I always thought that, like, if we don't give young people, show them someone that cares about them, they're gonna find it somewhere else. And sometimes that's not good people. That's not a good crew of people. I don't want to say good or bad, but it's not people who might be making good decisions. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Might not be the way to go. Period.
Yeah.
Like, I feel you on that, man. And yeah, I just, as a community sense of it, it's a lot of work, but it's being done, you know, step by step, inch by inch, and as more. But I will say this, to me, in my opinion, sometimes it feels like where I'm gonna call them like speed bumps. You got like influential stuff that's not influential in a positive way. Now, you know, I probably brought this up in a couple episodes, but Wiggins knows I'm kind of passionate about this, even though being in the sense that I make music. But I will say, like, music's one of the big influences ever right now for all cultures, even though it's predominantly Black culture, all cultures. But if you look at stuff that's going on now, like the type of music that they're promoting, and don't get me wrong, you have your long list and line of hip hop that wasn't predominantly very positive for communities in certain senses, still talking about drug selling and stuff like that. But I'm finding that as the newer generations to come, the kids like me, us being our age and the kids being younger, like the type of stuff that some of these dudes is talking about at the age of 13.
Bro, drill music is crazy. It's crazy.
And then you even got like terminologies and just like way of life. Like we've grown up had our slang words and saying certain things, and we knew what it meant and stuff like that. But like, you got stuff that's blatant these days that it's like it's pure evil. Cause like, I'm on demon time.
Yup.
Bro, what? Like,
yup.
Like what?
We're gonna slide on these niggas.
and mean it, and you're putting it out there.
You talking 2K? You must be talking 2K. That's what I say. My son, you must be talking 2K.
Like,
you must be talking that 3-on-3 shit. Like,
and on top of that, you got young white culture, damn near adopting that, and making it cool, making it something like the end shit. So when I look deep into that aspect of it. Of course, these major labels and shit that are, I'm not even gonna get, you know what I'm talking about. Of course, they're gonna promote that. Of course, they're gonna be like,
profiting off of Black Death.
No,
they're profiting off of Black Death.
Crazy. It's crazy.
For sure. I mean, like, imagine like grade, even really elementary kids that like walking around all day with I'm on demon time. I'm a shooter. Imagine what, like, you can say what you want to, like, but that does something to you. Like, that does.
I agree. It desensitizes. It takes away, like, takes away like a sense of humanness, like that. You know what I mean? That we're supposed to have. You know what I mean? Like seeing ourselves in other people. I think what drill is like a design of the machine. You know.
Yep.
You know,
and the younger you're taking that in, the more conditioned you will be. Like, you know, they always tell you, like, start young. They always teach them while they're young. Like, them, like, you know, like, that shit is real. So, yeah, you got youngins running around here 13 and under in certain cities and states and wherever, in other parts of the world, because the shit's touching people worldwide. You know what I mean? Like, right now, if you can go online right now on your phone, and most dance videos are now is people getting sturdy, doing, I don't know, shit, to me, the shit looks like it's that Russian shit. But, and that's some army shit and war shit, but that's another story. But yeah, like
I got a tiny different perspective on it, because like I know for a fact that when I was younger, I used to listen to music that was very violent. You know what I mean? Like when I was younger, a teenager, and whatnot, I listened to music that was violent. I don't really listen to music that's violent anymore. You know what I mean? I still listen to Black music that's made by Black people, that's empowering Black people, that's beautiful for Black people, all that good stuff. But it's not about violence and stuff. And I'm curious to see if my son right now, who's going to be 16 soon, is going to have that evolution of taste and thought and idea.
And he might.
You know, like, is he gonna look back, when he's like 25 and say like, wow, I used to listen to K Flock or whatever. Like, you know, like, I can't believe I did. Like, I used to listen to K Flock. I don't fuck with him no more. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that I feel like there's like ingredients though, like that can, because if I'm in an environment, growing up in poverty, don't have any parents at home that care for me, I'm going to school, hearing that we've just been enslaved, we're enslaved. Police are bothering me, and I'm listening to that music, versus, your son now not living in poverty, has parents that care about them, has meals, has that music, but able to kind of reason through
driving in. Yeah.
And you know what just came to mind? Nick's gonna laugh. Dog, I'll put you to sleep like veterinarians. Your flow, I ain't hearing it. My style is sick, but I flow like come on. Crack music, bro.
Yeah, see, and it's crazy because I kind of calmed down a little bit with that myself too, because I've matured. So
that was a hot track. That was one of that anyway. That was a hot.
Back then, I was not putting no one down like no vet.
Man,
like, let's be honest. I was going home. It is what it is.
Well, maybe just with the bars,
It was bars though. But I was saying that. I was saying shit like that. I was saying shit like that at like 15, 16 years of age. Like, that's kind of crazy if you think about it. Like, come on, I wasn't up there putting nobody down like no vet, bro. Like, I wouldn't even be talking to you guys right now.
We got a great memory. My style is sick.
Yeah, that was crazy though. Like, I was saying some crazy stuff. Like, yeah,
definitely.
Okay.
You got a great memory, brother. You got a great memory.
Yes, you do.
Man. Crack music was fire. Crack music was fire. Other one was
I still got that too. I still got that track laying on a whole CD.
What was
Vinny? I was gonna say, I would put the link in the thing.
No, I don't got that. Ain't online. That is sacred. That's a fossil. That is not online. You can get that in physical only, or you ain't getting it at all. That is.
Check my
There's
website.
also
Merch
Vinny
only.
Vinny D. I wear
Oh,
handcuffs like it's
902
jewelry.
got an
Give-
LOCK.
Oh yeah. I wear
Yeah.
handcuffs like it's jewelry. I don't care what you do to me. Give me
That
life.
was
And
the
it's cool with me.
that was the first time I ever like actually showcased my skill in, like, believe it or not, in my neighborhood. I was still kind of shy back then, bro. And I went to the studio, and yeah, bro, around that time, like even when crack music and stuff came out, like I was just getting out of my shell, but I was doing that before that. I just wasn't showing nobody.
Okay.
So James McQuaid, shouts to him. He brought me to a studio one day, and he basically said, I need you to do a 16. It's going on Vinny's album. For those who don't know, Corey Wrights is going on Vinny's album. I'm like, what? Like, he's like, you better quote. And I did it. And I remember seeing him like almost a month later in the store. And he was just like, damn, like that shit was fire. Like, you know, like that was good, blah, blah, blah. I remember when James told me he was gonna get someone to put on my track, but he wasn't telling me who it was. And I was like, cuz it better be like, don't be messing up my album. I won't pay you. Like, I won't, like, just saying shit like straight up royalties. Right. So yeah, like that was the first time and that's actually when a lot of people around the neighborhood actually got to hear me, that because I wasn't really showing. I was only showing myself to my inner circles and shit like that. And like, you know, and then they pretty much encouraged me to start showing everybody in high school and stuff. So then that's when y'all heard crack music and shit like that. Yeah.
Lit. And one thing you just mentioned, because someone tried to tell me couple months ago that Vinny D and Corey Wright were two different people. And
no,
that's what I said. I was like,
unless they're speaking in like, I don't know, like
personas,
personas or something. I would say I agree in a sense, like because
they were talking completely two different.
Oh no,
I was like, not the same human. It's not the same human.
Like, no, persona, different, but it's the same person.
But I mean, I can't. Yeah, that's the same person. But if Corey was to speak for himself, which I believe he would say, those were two different people. You know what I mean? I don't get into detail about it, but I believe he would say that.
Of course.
So, and in that sense, but no, that's the same person. That's the same brother.
Definitely. Shout out Corey. Shout out Corey.
Shout out. Yeah, and that's, you know what I mean? He's another person I would like to have come through. You know, we've been having some great people come through. I want to, you know, just shout out all our guests, man. I respect all y'all for coming through. You know what I mean? Coming through, talk to the people. Just want to big that up real quick because it means a lot. You know what I mean? Just for us. I'm just going to speak for you real quick, Nixx. It just means a lot for us because, you know what I mean? We're trying to establish this platform. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're getting the ball rolling. We just want people to know, you know, it's a safe place to come, chill, hang with us, talk, feel free. You know what I mean? Say what you got to say. Keep it real. So yeah, we appreciate you coming through, brother. Just side note.
Most definitely.
Of course, man. We go back, bro. We go back.
Let's go.
What's new though? What's coming up? I know you got some projects lurking.
That's funny. Yeah.
It's on the horizon. Yeah. What is on the horizon? That's a great question.
Yeah. So I'm trying to kind of think about and do a couple different things. Like I'm kind of I guess the North Star is really like generational wealth. Cause like I said, my mom kind of gave me what she could give me. And like I said, like I didn't really know I was poor until I left the house. That makes sense. Because like I wasn't able to compare anything until I actually left the house.
Compare and contrast. I agree with you completely. It starts with the compare and contrast. You're like, what the heck?
Exactly. So like I've got like two properties now. Like one I'm with like my fiance and son, and then the other that was my first house. My mom lived there, so we moved out of the pubs. She's in that now, and so nobody is in public housing anymore. And so the goal is to kind of like keep going. So I want to get more assets. I just don't think Black people own enough things. And then
we gotta talk more, brother. We gotta talk more.
May I ask?
Yes.
What, like, you don't got to get into crazy detail. Just give us a little brief of like how did you get into
Yeah.
even like acquiring the knowledge about what assets you should get your hands on, and you know what I mean. Like I think a lot of us got the ambitions and got the drive within us to try to do that, but some of us don't know where to start. Stuff like that. So if you could like just
yeah. So a bit of it was like so when I first started, like when I left university, I got a job Phoenix Youth Programs, and it was mandatory to pay into an RSP. So I didn't want to actually do it, but they said they made you do it. And so it turned out when I was actually looking to get a house, like I had enough in there for a down payment because they made me pay into it. And so from there, rather than being mad about it, I was like, I need to actually start doing this more. And so that helped me get my first house. And once you're in the market, you can do a lot of things from it, because I remortgaged the house and you can pull the equity out, and then you can get a good amount, let's say. So you can refinance, pull the equity out of there, take that money, put it into another property, and you can kind of keep moving it that way.
I just want to say that's what I want to do. That's exactly what I would love to do, because
it's dope. Like it's dope. Honestly, it's dope. It's dope.
I would love to do that.
I'm not gonna say I'm like a guru of, like, I just did it, and so like I'm talking, my experiences.
Yeah,
so,
you just like went to the bank, sat down with the people.
Yeah.
Hey, what's this? Refinance. How do I get? How do I turn my? How do I take advantage of the equity in my home?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, because the thing is that, like, so registered retirement savings plan. So you can take out. What I did is I used the home buyers plan. So what that means is I can take the money out tax free and use it at the purchase of my first home, and then I also get a rebate back from the government. I think it was like $2,500, and then you pay that back because it's a registered retirement savings plan. You have 15 years to pay it back. So I pay like, I don't know, $200 a year, something, $500 a year, something like that. And so that helped
build to build it back up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can pay it off sooner, etc. But what I kind of did was then just started diversifying my money. So like I bought into stocks, I bought into crypto. I have a RSP that I'm just growing. I have a tax-free savings account. I have a locked-in RSP that just grows and you can't touch it until I'm like 50. And so I didn't really understand the value of money until I actually had shit. And then I had to really start thinking about what I'm going to do with this, new money or new income that I'm getting. And so when I met, like with Shanae and I kind of got together, like we got in a house, we built it, we moved in December 2021. And so then that again got me in the market even a bit more. And so, now we're thinking about, okay, well, can we get a family cottage? And like, this might sound funny, and this kind of is, but I actually don't know a Black person that owns a cottage. I honestly don't. I've never had any Black friends that own cottages, and I'm not saying
they got one. I think Bradley Day got one.
He might.
He might. I think he might, but I don't know. I swear his family went to a cottage every summer, man. I don't know.
Yeah, like, and I'm not like, and I don't want it to.
But I know exactly what you mean, though. I know exactly what you're saying, though.
Well, yeah, like I don't want it to be on the record that I'm saying Black people don't own cottages. I'm just saying in my experience, I didn't and still don't have any Black friends who own cottages, and so that's what I want. I want that.
I could say the same thing for a boat. Like I don't know any Black human beings.
It's literally my next word. My next word was gonna be I'm getting a cottage. I'm getting a boat. Like I'm not gonna say I'm gonna get it at some point. And so from getting the first house, like this opened up. It opened up a lot. Like it opened up around how to move money. It opened up around, okay, I can start thinking, well, if I get another host, keep this one for the family. Like, so it really opened my mind to a lot of different things. Like, and I mean, if you wanted to ask the finances, like I wouldn't say it on the podcast, but I can tell you, I don't know why people hide this. Like I tell you exactly what I needed to get.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. What? I actually love that you're saying that, because that's one of the things I find that we should be open about. You know what I mean? Yes. Not on this platform. Like we're not gonna try to dox ourselves or nothing like that. But when we talking and when we building, you know what I mean, in person and whatnot.
I will tell you. I'll tell you if you want to know what the down payment was.
Listen, I'm just saying you don't necessarily have to, but we need to start being able to be open about these things so that we can start to learn about, different types of mortgages, fixed rate versus, variable. You know what I mean? Like, we got to start knowing what's the difference between these. And like, you know, Bank of Canada just put the base up, 75 base points, put the base interest rate up 75 base points, you know? And they basically said that, hey, that's not going to be the end of it. You know, so if you got one of these variable mortgages, you're sitting here like, oh, now my bills are, okay. So now my bills are, you know, changing and stuff. Some people, you know, find it hard to deal with that. I personally would find it hard to deal with that. Our mortgage is a fixed mortgage, but
I got a variable. So I had a fixed mortgage, and my other place is fixed. This one is a variable. And it's the first time Shanae and I both did a variable. And so like we're kind of watching it and not really stressed, but like my thought is like they had to do some type of market correction to slow down the housing market and to kind of correct things with COVID.
Looking at the economy,
I'm confident it's going to go back. So I'm not really stressed. If it starts getting a little bit more, then I might think about it. But I'm not about to change everything based on the points over the last few months. But I think financial literacy is very important for our community.
Right, but knowing where you stand and knowing what's changing, knowing what's going to be different, you know what I mean, gives you, you know, having that knowledge base is important.
But see, like what people don't like what we did to get in the place that we're at is we actually started the conversation with our mortgage person like 2 years out. So we were like, okay, in 2 years, like here's where we want to be. Like, what do we need? How much money do we actually need? So then we put the plan together. All right, cool. I'm gonna save this much, you save that much, and then we just started stacking it, and then we're able to get to where we are. But like, rather than trying to walk into the situation, like, you know, I'm always for the process. Like, rather than instant gratitude, like I'm gonna get it, but I just need to know what the plan is. So once I knew the numbers, then we're able to actually work it out.
Yeah, start to work towards it. You know what I mean? Start to build towards it. Put this away, put that away. You know what I mean? Stop eating out so much. You know, like, you know, get the plan in place.
Stay out the dome.
Rico,
stay out of there.
Did you read this? I had to go grab this.
Oh, it's a little bit.
No,
psychology of money.
No, I didn't. But I'm gonna get that.
You need to. Yeah, you definitely need to chime into that one, especially with what you're doing and where you're at with it in life financially and the things you were just explaining and what you got going on. Like, I got to finish reading that book, but it's definitely insightful. And it leads me to say, I want to say earlier too, like, you know, besides being conditioned by TV and stuff and some of our communities, like one thing we didn't really get definitely in school.
I just bought it on Audible.
Nice. You're gonna like it, bro. You're gonna like it. You're probably gonna know a lot. Like, you're already doing some of the stuff. Like, that's what made me think of the book, because you were saying some things that I already read in the book. I'm like, oh shit. Like, let me see if did you peep this? I thought you might have read it, but yeah, like I find, like, when I'm thinking now about when we were coming up, like especially elementary and junior high, like we was never really taught nothing financial to that, like nothing.
No, like, nothing.
Big gap. Big gap.
Bro, I didn't sign my first check ever. I didn't even know how to do it until third year university, I think, ever. Because I never had to do it and no one ever showed me. And so when my landlord said he needs checks, I'm like, how do I do that? Like, and we're talking simple, basic. Like, I just didn't know how to do it.
And they should have taught us stuff like that at a young age. Like, literally, like, come on now. Like, geez, like so much. Imagine if they taught us about taxes when we were like 7, 8 years of age.
Exactly. Taxes, business, owning a business, running a business. What's an entrepreneur? What's a tax-free savings account? Like, telling us about all of those things. Because, like, man, when I was in my first year of university, I got student loans, and I'm 18 in a new space, and all of a sudden $4,500 just hits my account. Blew it all. Like, blew it all on just nothing. Drinking, partying, like
we probably all would have, because we did not have that financial literacy that we needed to even understand, you know, how to manage that stuff. And, you know, and when you don't have for the longest time, as soon as you get something, you're going all out. It's just natural.
Exactly.
It's just natural.
Exactly. I heard someone say when a people, and they were talking about black people, but they said when a people are oppressed and do not have, they tend to get purchase the symbols of freedom. So when a person or a people aren't free, they'll purchase the symbolism of freedom.
Mhm.
Balenciaga slides, Gavici t-shirt. I need to get a fly car, but I'm actually broke living at home. But
That's crazy though.
when you see me, I look like freedom. I look like I'm stunting because I can't actually be free because of the society that I'm in. So when the people can't be free, they'll get the symbols of freedom.
That's wild though. Like, come on, you got people out here ready and willing to pay $600-700 for a pair of shoes that
Exactly.
might not even last 2 years unless you're walking on eggshells.
It ain't
Like,
even
let's be
nice.
honest.
They ain't even fly, bro.
No, they're not. But it is what it is, and that's the thing. It's like oh my god. Okay, check this out. I don't know if y'all knew. Well, Wiggins, I think you knew about this. I think I brought it up to you. So I seen the video a while back. Payless actually pulled a prank on people. Yeah, cause set up shop.
Tell it for the viewers. Tell it for the viewers. I see.
Set up shop, made their shit look really, really nice and expensive, like they was down in Soho, New York, or something, and had shoes priced at $500, $600, $400, and they was regular Payless shoes. Simple as that. They was regular Payless shoes that you could have bought for $30, $20, whatever. But the thing is, they didn't okey doke them all the way. They told them at the end, like, they let the people buy them, but told them like, nah, because these ain't the real deal. But it made me think that ain't far-fetched from the truth.
It's true.
No.
We're over here buying $10 materials at $100 more to just be like, I got the latest this or that.
Exactly. You got the latest.
I think they were making that video to like psychologically let like those who know, but most people probably went right over their head.
Yep. I mean, Matt, like I know people who got, and you probably do too, who got all the J's but nothing.
But that's it. Yeah, all the J's, but that's it. You know what I mean? Like all the J's, but that's it.
Yeah, and I think financial freedom and literacy is like, it's one of the cornerstones. Like it's one of the things that our community needs. One of the things that we lack, like to learn about money, because there's just a lot to know and a lot to learn about it and how it moves and how to spend it and when you should save and what, like there's a lot to know. And I just think like that being taught in school just makes so much more sense than a lot of the things that we learn. I would love to start young and learn about all of this. So then when I'm done, I know how to write a check. I know what a TFSA is. I know how to say like all of those things. I know what a variable mortgage rate is.
I know what interest rates are. I know, you know what I mean? Like,
What do y'all think about the people that are out here right now basically selling life-changing knowledge, like basically like stuff that can proclaim help you,
self-help, like
selling it as courses or something like that. Like me, I ain't gonna lie, me and my girl almost bought into that shit and almost actually went through paying money for a course a couple before the pandemic. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this person probably went on YouTube, got some tutorials, got some information, and now he's selling it to other people for a high. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. Or I can just do actual legwork and homework and learn about the shit myself and do whatever it is I want to do. I don't need
a couple different perspectives on that one.
Yeah, man. I almost fell into that whole trap of just like, you know what? I think for people, they kind of feel like if I pay $100-something or $200 for this course, the shit's gonna happen for me overnight, which is not gonna happen. And I just want to know you guys' opinion on how you feel about people that are out here selling like courses and just other stuff, like claiming to I'm helping, it's for my people, but you got to buy yourself into that.
Yeah.
School. Yeah, go first. You go first.
I think that I mean, so first thing is I always respect the hustle. Like I respect the hustle, so I'll say that. Like I respect you're trying to make legitimate income. I respect that. However, I think that for nowadays, where like information is literally at your fingertips, like, you know, if there was a course on financial literacy, like you could more or less find probably 90% of the information out there. And so I don't think that these people that are doing these are like crooks in any way, but I think what people are paying for in that regard would be convenience. And so like I don't think you're actually paying for anything that you can't go find yourself, but you're paying for the convenience of not having to do that.
To do all that legwork.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I think.
And me personally, I come from sort of a school of thought that not everything is free. Not everything. A lot of people should be valued for, people should be valued for like, the effort and the work and the education that they've, obtained and stuff like that. But I also think too that some people are over here preying on people's, needs, preying on people's needs, the need to make more money, the need to feel secure in life, the need to, find somebody that loves you, the need to, all these different, things that we need in life. Some people are, I don't know, smart enough isn't the word, but they're, they hustle enough to, to be like, oh, I can make money off somebody else's like
their manipulation is on point, and that's the whole job of a salesman or any type of person selling anything out here is manipulation, regardless if you look at it positively or negatively. Manipulation is a big key in selling anything in life,
and so my background that I come from working in too is like a place of like, well, we just give everything away. Like, we give everything away, like, you know what I mean? At Love, at Hope Blooms, at YouthNet, at all these different places that I worked at, we never, ever, and I came through my own self, like Love and YouthNet. I went through these programs as a child. They never said, okay, here's a $20 fee for this, or here's a $30 fee for that, or whatever. They always, just gave shit away, everything away. So that's installed in me a little bit. But I recognize the need to be compensated. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be at some point be compensated. So a lot of people that I fuck with online, learning shit from, they do a lot of a lot of things free tutorials and videos and all this stuff. And then they have like an option, like, if you really fuck with me and you want to support me, come buy my whatever, my this or my that. So I think there's a classy way to do it, and also like a way where it's just like, no, I could tell you how to get rich. But you see, go click my link and buy my book and da-da-da-da. I can tell you how to get rich, but go buy my book. So, there's a classy way of doing that. You actually give back to the community. You give shit away, but you also have shit for sale too. So anyway.
Well, there's an African proverb I read maybe a couple months ago, and it said, don't trust a naked man trying to give you his t-shirt. And like that's crazy deep, because like, well, if you ain't putting it on, why are you trying to give it to me? If it's not working for you, why are you trying to hand that over to me?
Right.
Super deep. But I mean, I agree what you're saying in terms of compensation and but also like giving back and doing things for free. Because like, I think that like there's an obligation, especially if, depending on what you're doing or where you are, like there's an obligation to actually give responsibility, really, to give back to the community and knowledge, but also striking that balance around being compensated. And so, like you said, like people offer free courses, but if you want to go deeper, well, it took me a long time to put all this together. So, appreciate it by paying. But and then the other part is like, it's the way that some people do it.
That's what I'm really getting.
How classy are they doing it, or how, it's just like, is everything a sell? Everything is sell. There's people that I like on YouTube that I like to listen to for like different types of knowledge and whatnot. But the first like 15 minutes of the video I have to skip past because they always got a big sell at the beginning. They're always like selling something at the beginning, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Say something real quick. I'll tell you.
Yeah, please.
Straight up. Please. I'm not even gonna get into details of who or whatever. That doesn't even matter. But I basically bought someone's product that was supposed to help take shit to the next level, and it's just collecting dust. It's just it, but I'm not like everybody. The reviews on the product is the same. Everybody's saying the same thing. Like, what did this do? So everybody feels like they got scammed in a sense. So me saying that, me asking that question was kind of a little bit biased from the standpoint of me of actually spending my money on something that was supposed to help me out financially when it came to the knowledge, and it really didn't do that. It just it's just a piece of I just have an item that I paid, you know, a couple $100 for, if we're being honest.
It ain't that book you just recommended though.
No, heck no. No. This was what? This was like, I bought this for like what, $30 on Amazon? Nah, this not even $30, but yeah.
Man,
No.
I got you should read 48 Laws of Power.
I have that.
My
library is incredible, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Did you read 50 Cent, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter?
I need okay,
Fire.
I need to get that book, and I need to get the 50th Law. I read some of the 50th Law on my phone, my old phone, where the screen broke. I had a Samsung before the Samsung I got now, but the screen broke. I had that on my phone, but I kind of realized I don't like really reading on phones. I like the physical copy. So I got to get that. The 50th Law is very good, and he teamed up with Robert Greene, who does 48 Laws of Power and The Art of War. And my woman's actually reading a crazy book right now that I would recommend both you guys to check out. That from Robert Greene. This is his newest book, The Laws of Human Nature.
Yes,
that book's crazy.
Okay.
Oh, it is, bro. It is. Like if you read a couple chapters of that, your perspective of just humans in general, like it's different, bro. It's crazy. I don't know how this man, he's gifted. I don't know. The man's talented. The man got, I don't know what he be doing, sit in his lab all day and just think about shit. I don't know, but he's good at what he does. I got a few good books, bro. I made it a point to start reading a lot more, especially back when we was in high school. And I know that at St. Pat's, we was doing a lot of like book reports and just reading in general and shit like that, just all the time. Like and our English teacher, Miss Murphy, used to make us write short stories, and I used to kill them shits. I used to get 90s on all them shits. I was killing them shit. So I was into it back then. Then I stopped doing the bullshit and, you know what I mean, running around the streets and doing all this regular dumb shit. And I just made it a point, you know, probably about like before the pandemic, to start getting into reading again. So me and my girl just decided to like, let's start building a little library.
I'm gonna just put this out there. I'm gonna put that energy out. I think you're gonna end up being a writer. I think you're gonna write stories. I think. Because like I got shit on my computer that I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I can't, like, I don't even know what to say to that, because that side of myself, like, yeah, I write raps and shit, but like I've never actually sat down and told people like I've written other things. I write. I like to create. Like I don't think people really get that about me. They just see, like, you know, the funny side and just the artistic side as far as making music, but they don't know that, like, yo, I like to create. You give me a piece of paper and a pen and you put me in a room and tell me you can't leave until all these sheets of paper is filled. Like I got you. I don't no more. I can't really say nothing more than that. Writing, producing films, like, I think there's a lane. I think there's a big lane, and I think that the art scene in Halifax is big right now, especially the Lighthouse Art Center that's going to be coming up. I know the discussions around the new art museum. Like, there's an avenue for it. There's a big avenue for it. So I'm gonna just put that energy out there.
I want to say to you is, what I want to say to you is, appreciate it, and it's crazy that I don't know what exactly you see, because you didn't tell me exactly what you see, but I don't know, like, it's just something that I don't really express to people that I've done before, or at least tried to do. So the fact that you're even saying like, yo, I can see you doing that, it makes me feel good, because it actually tells me, okay, well, I ain't crazy just thinking I can do it. Like I am bad for that. I will hold things off because I am my worst critic. And I take long starting stuff, but I have ideas. I wrote I started writing a web series and I never finished.
Listen, man, let me just say, there is power in one of the things that I never read the full 48 Law book, but the summary that I got from what I've read is, the power is in you, is within your own personal self to, have a critical mind, make decisions, all this stuff. One thing that gives us power, Nixx, is creation. Creating, basically, I'm going kind of left field with it, but creating makes us God, brother. You know what I'm saying? And there's no stronger power in the universe than the divine. Just saying. So when we create, we are it. We are the creator. And so don't ever give up on yourself on that, bro.
Do we get, is Tyler Symonds, is he here? Is that what that shows on the screen? Because
he made a comment. So
okay, because he came at the right time. Because like my man's a big creative, and so like
yes, he is.
I'm
That's
just
crazy. That is crazy. How he popped in here just like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just putting that in the universe. That like,
bro, you just did a God move. What the heck?
That was kind of crazy. Like that was.
He made a comment, and I popped it up. He made a comment. I put it up on the screen.
Bro, just shifted the universe.
That is wild. All I'm saying, Tyler, is
just shifted the universe real quick.
Tyler, you're big in the space. I'm just putting the energy out there. Nixx is a writer. Nixx got ideas. I think collaboration, support, connect to some of your network, whatever the case. I'm just putting the energy out there because some shit's gonna happen. But anyway, Tyler, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Oh
Thanks
yeah,
man.
That's
always
wow.
Big appreciation.
That's wild. That's energy working in real time.
That is actually wild. Like that's trippy, real trippy.
So yeah, man, own it, man. You are a writer, Nixx. You know what I mean? Own it, and that's own it. That's personal power. That's one of my biggest like motivators these days, and one of the biggest values that I like to live is to emphasize my own personal power. I'm not saying lord over people and I got power. No, man. Just live my truth.
Unlock yourself.
Live my values, and and let's watch this stuff unfold. Got another comment.
Almost.
Hey, let's go.
Definitely gonna get in touch with you.
Appreciate that, Tyler. Let's go.
But yeah, man, like we are powerful people, for one. It's just and I'm loving the fact that as the years are going on, we're a lot more people are starting to wake up to that, are starting to actually like tap into themselves and realize their worth and say to themselves, okay, well, I'm going to be a lot more than what I used to be or what people may perceive me as. And that's you know what I mean? Like if we just keep that going at a steady pace, then sooner it's going to be a wide majority of us out here that are doing things besides the BS, which is a great thing. And
we can create the history that we want to talk about when we're in the future, if that makes sense, because the things that we're creating right now are going to be the shit that we're going to be talking about 10 years from now.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh shit, Nixx, you remember that time we were talking about you being a writer, and at that point, 10 years from now, you'll be producing and writing some and so like the things that we're creating now is going to be the history we talk about when we're in the future. And so I think that I feel like there is a shift and an awakening, and like when we're talking about the summit and we're talking about all the things that have happened globally for Black people and specifically for Black men, I think that there's been like a big shift and a big change, and especially around things like going to therapy, things like you know what I mean, like you can cry if you got to cry, like you don't got to try to be tough all the time. Like there's around who we are, our history, around trying to like clean up some of the shit that's happening in our communities, people dying. Like there's a lot of, I think, shifts that are happening, and the stuff we're doing now and the things we're creating right now are hopefully the positive history that we're going to be talking about 10 years from now. And so I just think the art of creating, I think it's just powerful because you're literally taking things that you're thinking about in your head and like making that real in the world. Like it's wild. It's wild.
It's definitely a true form of some type of manifestation. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that thoughts and words are physical. And so like I believe that I really believe that if I tell, got to be one even if it's the same person, I'm telling someone every single day what it is that I want to do. And because people aren't going to be able to help you, and the world won't be able to move out your way if you don't tell people what it is you want to do. And like the cliche is like, graveyard is the richest place in the world, because like that's people who just never had the opportunity to live out or speak into the existence what it is they want to do. And so like I tell kids, I'm like, man, like, do you think, I'll give an example. Like, do you think that Lindell Wigington just didn't tell anybody he wanted to go to the NBA? I'm sure that man not only worked his ass off, but he was telling people, this is what I want to do. And so then the world knew, and the world started moving out of his way, so he's able to get to where he goes. And people won't be able to help you if you don't tell them. So now that I know you got shit written down, now that Tyler knows you got stuff written down and you want to create, well, the world's now going to start moving in that direction. You just need to go with the flow.
I love it. You're dropping gems. You are dropping gems, brother. That's all. I gotta put that out there. You are dropping gems on us today. Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate them. But I agree completely with what you're saying, man. Yeah, we definitely got to bring it to fruition. We have to, right? And speaking it into existence. I got all kinds of, like, people will call them like crazy theories or whatever. But you're saying that you think thoughts are real. I know thoughts are real.
Yeah, physical.
Yeah, real. And that's how that's how we can even take a thought and make it into something else, even if it's just something as simple as a writing or a drawing. You know what I mean? It's because it's real. It exists. So
you gotta think, you gotta think about like how crazy people thought people were when they were like, one day we're gonna be able to walk into a room and flick a switch and there's gonna be lights come on. Like, what, we didn't even know what a light was. And so like that person had to tell people, that person had to create. Like, we can get in a fucking piece of metal and fly somewhere. Like, that's crazy. But that's because somebody didn't give up on their creating of something. And so we just keep refining that and making it better and better and better. And so it would be a damn shame if the world never got to hear or see your creative ideas in terms of your writing. Like, it'd be a shame. Because like I know that there's some shit in there. And then once that gets out to the world, that just keeps getting refined and refined and refined. And so like I told people I want to work with communities. This is what I want to do. So then everybody knows that's what I want to do. So then they start giving me opportunities, connect you here, connect to that. So like they know that. So chuck it out there.
For sure.
Don't want to interrupt, but real quick, we got Tyler trying to join us here, and it says that they will need to connect their microphone/camera before they can be added to the stream. So if you can hear us, hear me right now, bro, like you have to, it says you have to, oh, there we go.
Let's go.
Man, let me join them. I sent the link up.
Oh yes, I love it.
This is great. You just got yourself on mute there, bro. There you go. Welcome.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this at all.
So Tyler, what do you think about, because you were here when we were talking about Nixx and he got writing in the vault, he got ideas around creating, and I mean, you probably know my man got bars in terms of writing raps and whatnot, but he said I write stories and I write shit, and then like I see you in the comment, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So like I'm just wondering if you could talk a bit about like creating and like putting it out there, and any advice you might have, because you're big in the space.
Man, it's like what you said about creating and how that's like, I feel like creating is like the closest we can get to like godliness. Like that's like in that creative flow too. Like even with like anyone that does music, I feel like the transition to even writing for film, it can't, I don't think that it would be that much harder, because you're just tapping into this thing that it's like this special, like I did a bunch of like reading about like the Greek philosophers and the Greek writers and how they would write and how they would have muses. And it was like basically just these creative ideas that they had in their heads. And I think musicians have that, and people that write for film need to have that, or write books need to have that. And really I came onto this because I've heard Nixx rap, and I remember I remember back when I heard him, and I was like, man, he's sick. Like,
thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
I remember.
I do want to ask you though, like, how did you even like what gravitated you towards the space you're in when it comes to creating? Because yes, I do make music and stuff, but I always had, like I told DeRico earlier, I used to kill writing short stories in English class, and the teacher was loving them, and just like I just liked writing. I just liked using my imagination. Like sometimes, you know, like with songwriting and with just writing short stories and stories, period, like it's a difference as approach. So
yeah,
when I was writing short stories, it was more fluent in conversation where I didn't have to worry about rhyming. I didn't have to worry about none of that stuff. Right. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. I can tell a story in rhyme format, but it was very much so easier to just free flow tell a story. And I got to write about whatever the hell I wanted. Like I didn't have to cater to a specific audience to try to get on or get liked or get noticed or get attention from the masses or anything like that. I just locked in and just wrote whatever.
Yeah. I think that's like a special thing too, because I know so many people that are like, man, I wish I could just write. And I feel like a lot of us can just do it. And like, it's just like, I'm sure you have like this wild imagination, probably. Like, I'm the type of person, I can just sit there and come up with this movie in my head.
I think me and you would probably have the most illest conversations on earth if that's the case, because I think of movies in my head all the time. Like just, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's how I am. And that's
crazy,
like,
bro.
And it probably feels easy to you. Like you're probably just like, oh, this is just how I am. I can just imagine all this stuff, and it
does feel like that.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. But
it
a lot of people
exactly like that.
A lot of people are like, man, how can I get like that? And
it used to frustrate me.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I ain't have enough canvas to express myself, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it used to frustrate me, bro. Like really, but I think kind of that was me being younger and impatient too. That's like, I don't know. We probably all felt like this at one point, being young and passionate about something, especially with you with Ball Rico. Like you probably felt like, you know, you felt like, oh, I'm nice out here. So why ain't I out here like I should be out here? And you know, I used to feel like that a lot about certain. So when it came to my pen about anything, you know, and like I still have the habit of doing it now. I have a set of scribblers up in my closet piled up with just shit written, rap stories, ideas, anything. I just like I like touching the pen on the pad. Excuse me. I love touching it. Like I don't know what it is.
That's dope.
So, brother, are you a film speaker?
Yeah.
You... Nice. Okay.
Oh, he's dope, bro. He is dope.
Tyler's the guy.
For sure, we gotta talk for sure, because I'm always looking for like new people to talk to. We can bounce
I would love that
off each other.
Just to even be invited into that space, and that I'm not used to doing that. Like I'm really not. Like I can go to a music studio and be comfortable as hell, but this is another avenue, and I would love to mingle in that field right there, bro. I would just, even if it just means me in the background seeing what's going on, soaking up all the info, man, being a sponge for the day. Like I would love to do that shit, because that is like kind of like a hidden passion of mine. Like, you know, like
this definitely happened for a reason today, because I got something that I want you to come on.
See, that's dope.
See.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
this definitely happened for a reason. I was just chilling. I think I saw DeRico post something, or yeah, DeRico post something on Instagram that I clicked it. And I'm hungover today, so I ain't got nothing to do really. So I just clicked it and I was just listening to you guys. But yeah, this happened for a reason, man.
Oh man,
Oh,
I
that's
would
wild.
really appreciate that, bro. I would really appreciate that. You know, like you need me for bro. Yeah,
Let's
we'll
do it.
definitely have to exchange contacts or whatever and get her done, bro. I'm
Yeah.
down with that for sure.
100%.
And I
I'll hit you up.
appreciate that.
I'll let you guys get back to your talk because I feel like I'm hijacking the.
No, it is
No,
not
you're
really.
good, bro.
No, you know what? And just so you know, too, the way we sort of set this platform up is we like to have a guest or someone come speak, give us their perspective, and then I put the link out there on purpose so that people can come in, engage, ask questions if they want to, talk, connect. So this is meant to be. Don't even worry. You are not hijacking anything. You are a welcome guest.
Appreciate
welcome.
you, man.
All love.
Love what you guys are doing, man.
Well, bro, how can I what do you want? How you want me to get at you? Twitter? I can't. I don't think we can do it through here. I don't want you to post all your information up on the chats and shit.
Yeah, just get at me through Twitter, and then we can like text from there or something.
Okay, that's what's up. I will definitely do that.
Cool.
And I appreciate that, bro. For real.
Of course, bro. Appreciate you. All right, I'm out. I got to go get some rest.
All right, brother. Good to see you.
I'll be listening though. All right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Man, see?
That was crazy, bro.
That's so weird how that happened, but like that's literally the shit I'm talking about. It's like why I believe it's physical, man. Like you put it out there and then like boom, now you're connected to a project that Tyler's gonna be doing.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. That's wild.
So now let's see where that goes. Because then now maybe you'll get on that project, meet somebody else, and boom, so on and so on and so on. So here we go. So I hope
that's part of the principle, man. Though being there, being ready for the time, the opportunity when it comes. Be ready for it. Yeah, I mean that's part of the principle.
And I hope like young people who literally watch that happen, will start to take it seriously. Because I feel like in our communities, there's a lot of people who like are known for like one thing, but like they got more in the bag, but they're like scared to kind of bring it out because, and I'm not saying this about you, Nixx, but like there could be people who are scared to bring it out because they might be like, my friends might think, or my community might think this. Like I can give you an example. I used to play violin all elementary, and I was nice too. Like I was nice with it. I could still play the Titanic. Like I was good, but it wasn't.
Wow.
It wasn't. It became not cool, and so I was like,
right.
All right, well, so then I just kind of put it away, and stopped playing it. But I think, man, you hear anyway. I kind of put it away and just stopped playing it because it wasn't cool. And really, what I'm saying is that like there's more in the bag. Like, and I think that in a lot of our communities, especially young Black men, like they got that. Like they got more to give, but there just might be reasons where they're scared to kind of put it out there. But I think the shit is physical. Thoughts, words, you put it out there and the world's gonna adjust and move in your direction.
I feel like in a sense, for some reason, I don't know why it went like this, but piggybacking off of what you said, for one, when I was younger, I used to feel the same way, bro. This is why I didn't expose certain parts of myself to people I was around and just thinking dumb like that. Like what, like that ain't it, But like I feel like a lot of people do that simply because within our communities, the talent pool, if you will, has been limited down to like one of three things pretty much. You know what I mean? And it's like making music, selling dope, or playing basketball was what most places that is make up of a Black community in between here and in the Western world. I can't speak for overseas or nothing, but here in North America, that's damn near everywhere with Black people. They sum it up to that. You're either one of three things. So you're not going to get It's gonna be rare for you to find a brother that plays the violin, it plays the shit out of it, sitting there playing some of your favorite songs and stuff. Like that ain't, people will be like, what are you doing? What's that? You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna get, like, there's so many people. I be thinking about this all the time. There's so many people in our communities that are probably like super talented at stuff that you ain't never even thought they would be talented as, but you will never see it because of how society treats everyone. You shouldn't, like, that ain't it. That ain't the end shit to do. Like, we probably got whole sculptures, architects. Like, we got some crazy people like that are very crazy in a positive way. You know what I mean? Like, the talents that they have are probably spectacular, but we'll never know that because we kind of limited ourselves into that box of thinking you can only do one of three things, one of four things, or whatever the number is. And it's probably different all over the place, but it's still a narrow playing field when it comes to actually unlocking yourself and being the best person you can be. And don't even get me started on people being multi-talented, because that's a whole nother conversation. You got brothers and sisters over here that can do 4 or 5 things. But
that's how I feel about myself. I feel like I could do like 10 things, bro.
Yes, that's what I feel. I feel like that too.
I got a toolkit. Like the toolkit is stacked up.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like that should be norm. That should be the normal. That should be the normal.
For me, it's being able to pass that down. You know what I mean? Being able to pass that frame of mind that you don't just have to be one limited thing. You can whip out the violin or learn how to play guitar or, start graphic designing or, whatever, plethora, do parkour instead of play basketball. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, trust. That's where I think
that, like, I really think that people are limitless in what they're able to do. And then I think, I was listening to something that Steve Harvey was saying around your gift. And your gift is the thing that God gave you that you're able to do with the least amount of effort. And what is that? And he was giving examples. He's like, I knew a barber. All he did was cut hair. That's all he did. So he said he would cut my hair once a week, $1,500. Eventually, he bought a shop. And boom, and grew it and grew it and grew it. And so the thing that you do the best with the least amount of effort, and nurture that, because sometimes we run away from that. Because what's that quote from Coach Carter movie? What is your deepest fear? That kind of whole thing where you're actually scared of your potential. But I just think that, like, we're limitless in the potential that we have to actually do things and do shit and impact the world. But sometimes we actually run from it, and we'll procrastinate or we'll put it off. Oh, that's just like, oh, those are just some stories that I write. That's nothing. But meanwhile, like, you're really actually wanting to really get on that wave, but like you kind of just brush it off. Or like there's people every day, today even, who are sitting at jobs that they fucking hate, but they won't actually fully embrace their potential or their passion or that gift that they know that they have and they know that they want to pursue.
For sure.
Nah, man, I just want to shout out to 100% true. But it's your responsibility to pursue your passion, no matter the direction of society. I just put that up there. I think that is a good comment, and I think that is valid. A valid direction. You know what I mean? And yeah, like you say, finding that, even if it's the violin, even if the hood kids don't think it's cool, we got to work on the next generation, changing, getting them to think, even if you play the violin, it's cool, right? Like even if your friend plays the violin, it's cool. So we got that's part of our responsibility too. Let's see, 100% true. I love the fact that you're just adding a bunch of comments, so we're just gonna keep it flowing.
Oh, yeah.
Focus on one thing. And we know people like that, though. We know people who came up with in a barbering skills from high school and now own their own joints and following
Derek Lawrence,
right?
Derek Lawrence, my man just cut hair. That's what he did. Okay. And then he cut hair in between classes, cut hair in the hallways, he cut hair on the doorsteps, and now he has his own shop.
Yeah, employing people, in the community, creating opportunities, you know what I mean? That trickle down. So, that's part of it. That is part of it. And what thing I love about Derek too, man, is that, he keep a community. Yeah. anytime like, you know, working at Hope Blooms, we would have something coming up because these kids is always on TV every 10 seconds. Anytime we would have something coming up, Dragon's Den, this, that, the other thing, we would go over to shop, go to Derek's, and he would hook it up. You know what I mean? He wasn't saying like, oh, I'll give you guys free haircuts, but he was giving us a great, you know what I mean, the best rate you could get.
Yep. He done
You know
that for me. A couple things in Mulgrave Park. He showed up for Father's Day events and like hooked up a lot of men's in the community.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And we, you know, our organization, we just cut him that nice little, you know,
Right.
honorary.
Everybody's hair in high school at least once. I don't care what no one says.
What you said?
Anybody who was getting a fade back then, he cut everybody's hair
Oh
in high
yeah,
school at least once.
Yes. I've never
At
went
least
to
once.
any. Derek was my guy since then,
And he did it right in
100%.
school, right in the hallway. Didn't he meant that? He meant that. And it's super great to see where he is at it now. Like, that's crazy. He got his own shop.
Yeah, and our school,
man. Like,
and our school should be, you know what I mean? Like, our school should be a place where we can, you know, develop our talents and put them into practice and get ready for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they should be open to that kind of stuff, not just you know, you come here to learn 9 to 93 and then you go home. Like, you know, man, like open up the doors and let us use these buildings, let us use these spaces, all kinds of stuff. What else we got going on? 100%.
yo,
So
send
why
them
is
the
it
link.
important? But why is it important to be in the community? Don't you think that's what's holding you back? Is the community? So yes, and so no. So I mean, whoever that person is, like, you know, up to you if you want to send a link. But I'll answer that question. I'll answer that question. I
100% true. Yeah, for sure. Like, if you go scroll up the chat, the link is there if you want to jump in. This is an actual good question, but please, yeah, feel free to.
Yeah, so that. Because, like, I mean, so I think it's important to be in the community, and I mean that might be dependent on. I think there's context to that, because you know we know. You know, people get to a certain sort of level of success. There are people who don't want to see you be successful anymore. We could talk about Nipsey Hussle. We could talk about all kinds of rap. We could talk about Pat Stay. Like, you know, we know the level that he was at, and like this is my man. This is a city, and so there is context to sort of being in the community, and I think I don't think it's the thing that's actually holding people back, because I believe that the previous comment might have been around going in your direction regardless of what society sort of is saying. And so in ways, I think, yes, the community does, I say community or the situation or the environment can be limiting, can be what holds you back. But I do think that no matter sort of where you ascend to or where you get to, not forgetting where you come from, not turning your back on your community, is still being around to kind of be with the people. Because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my community. My community actually helped me get to where I am. And like in the environment, like people, nah, DeRico, like this ain't for you, man. Like you're the basketball guy, like get out of here type of thing. And so I think that there's a lot of context for it. And so, because I see the question is nuanced too, specifically for Black men, and you know, I think that we could talk about Afrocentricity. We could go a couple different routes with it, but every other communities, when you think about Asian community, like there's the collectivist mindset. You know, we have Afrocentricity, and so I think that it's always important to give back and to do what you can to advance the group or the collective. And so, yes, we ascended from the situations that we're in, but what can we do now to advance the interest or pull somebody else up? Because what is it? Lift as you climb. And so as you're climbing, reach back into the community and bring as many people with you as you can. And so I think there's context to the first part around being in the community, and I think that there's context to the part around that's what's holding you back.
And for me, thank you for answering that question. For me, what I would say, just to add a bit to this, is that why is it important for Black men to be in the community? Okay, just to tackle that first half of the question. The reason why it's important is because it's important for us to be in the community, to be a good example. That's why it's important. Like, I could answer that question very easily. The reason why it's important for us, Black men, especially Black men who are, you know, on top of their shit, figuring things out, trying to uplift the community. It's important for us to be in the community because we can be a guiding light and an example for the community. That's one of the whole reasons why I wanted to work in my community in the first place, is because I noticed the shocking lack of Black male role models, positive Black male role models. And I said, you know, I could, you know, go work over here or wherever else and contribute to that shocking lack, or I can start to attack the problem, which is the shocking lack of positive Black male role models. You know what I mean? By being the example that I want to see out here, you know, and letting that example trickle down. And then, do we think that's what's holding being in the community? Do you think, you know, that's what's holding us back as Black men? I would just have to put a cap on it and say no. Just because, you know, our community forms us, our community shapes us, our community makes us who we are. And if we can develop critical minds and positive consciousness, start thinking about each other, start seeing ourselves in each other, you know, everything don't have to be crabs in a barrel. As soon as you see a crab up, you try to pull them back down. Nah, I love what you said. Lift while you climb. Lift while you climb. That's going up. I'm adding that as a banner. Lift while you climb, because that's important. You know what I mean? Like, we're on our way to the top, or we're on our way, you know, to the peak or wherever. And we're not just trying to get there alone. That's important for us. So I think, yes, it is important for us to be in the community. And no, I don't think it's holding us back. That's just my...
You have to think about too, like, I think representation matters, and role models matter, and mentors matter. So think about now that Lindell Wigginton made it to the NBA, and he comes home to his community. That him as a Black man being in his community means the world to these children. And now these kids are seeing that. Now these kids know that it's tangible. Now these kids can still see and touch an NBA player who came from the exact same situations that they have come from. We can talk about Lindell Smith, who's a counselor. From the community. Like, there's a whole bunch of different people. Two Lindells is fun. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of different people that we could talk about. But I think that Black children, Black youth, seeing Black men working in their community is important, because media, you know, we're pushing rap videos, we're pushing all that and showing different images and negativity. And also, you know, I'll speak for myself. There's a lot of absent fathers. You know, my father wasn't around, and so luckily, I had some really good people to look up to who were men in the community. And I mean, Maurice James being one of them, or Doodles, as people would know him. He hates when I do this stuff, but I just got to give him his flowers. And so I think Black men being in the community, I just think is very important. Yeah, for the collective. Yeah.
So good question. 100% true. Feel free to, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Who's
I'm
asking
curious
these questions, man? Who's asking these questions?
That's why I said send them the link.
They can look. I mean, I'm sure they can just you know, boom, scroll up or click there. There we go. What's this? Yeah, okay. Not everybody leave this community to be in the NBA and then come back. That's how he touches the people back home. Nobody's inspired by seeing you every day, bro.
They got a point though. They got a point. Like, if you look up, like, yeah.
So speak on this. So Nixx, speak on this then, please.
For example, like, when you look at a lot of people who do music from wherever they're from, unless they were born in the Mecca of where, I'm gonna use the example hip hop. Like, most people claim that the Mecca is New York, but other people argue that that's a whole different story. But if you're not, unless you were born in New York,
yeah, but
people had to leave, migrate. Like, I know he's whoever that is they got a point. And I'll say this: I remember, for example, I remember when Jordan, before he became the Jordan he is now, the DRN. Yeah. Like, I remember when he used to sing, and he was our hall monitor at one point at high school, bro. And I remember when people used to be like, "Oh, there he's singing again in the hallways and shit like that." Like, they didn't really like, but no one ever dogged his voice or nothing like that. But it wasn't like oh, you're about to go to the major leagues. Like seeing the man every day, being a hall monitor and stuff like that. Like people just was like, whatever. He's singing whatever. It wasn't until he left, went out to TO. I remember he went to New York for a bit and did some things. And he come back. He did the he didn't come back here, but he came back to Canada. He had a single. He dropped a single and all that stuff. And then he kind of became, the dude with the credibility he has now. So I see what they're saying in that sense, because yes, in some cases you might have to touch OT or where the opportunity presents itself in a larger, spectrum for you to even get what it is you're trying to do done. And then you come home and it's more like people want to see the proof too. You know what I mean? Like if you're here every day saying you're going to try to make it and you're on a ghost, but you're here every day and you're in the same vicinity, you're within arm's reach. People are just going to be like, yeah, that's just a motherfucker that raps.
Yeah. Okay? I mean, because of what you just said made me actually think about this person's question even differently. Because don't you think that's what's holding you back? Like, yes, honestly, in a sense. And
yeah, so, like, I get what you're saying now.
Because, like, if you think about it, like the first time I traveled and got to see different cities, got to see the world a little bit. But there's a lot of folks who stay in their community and that's all that they know without getting any sort of otherworldly experience. And so, yeah, I actually think like it's a really insightful question. And I think, it just made me think about it just a little bit differently. Because in ways, I think there's context to my yes or whatever, but I do think in ways, it can be limiting because if you.
And I do think, exactly. DeRico, I think what you're saying is right. Like going and seeing the world. I've been in many countries. I've seen, many different perspectives, Europe, South America, North America here, other places. It does give you some different perspective on life and the world in general, getting out and seeing things. Yeah, it can be beneficial leaving your hood. I do. It's not 100%.
The question that they just put in there too, like that's exactly what I was getting to is, how can we be better if we don't see how other communities are doing it, and how are you going to come up with something new? Absolutely. So that's exactly what kind of the alternative way I was thinking about it is that sometimes we get trapped in the box and people don't get to see anything else. Like people don't get to see other Black communities. People don't get to see success. All of the above. So my opinion changed on that mid-conversation. So I appreciate those questions. Whoever that is.
100% true. You out there hiding behind this screen name, but you're contributing in a major way. So I'm not taking that away. Good, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. It's kind of odd too, like engaging with somebody who you don't necessarily know who they are.
It's cool.
Yeah, we'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. We will 100% take it. Yeah, we will take it. Man, you guys, this has been great. So just for anybody that is checking us out right now, the link is in the chat. If you do want to jump in or make a comment, say what's on your mind, ask us questions, keep the, because this stuff is brilliant. It's brilliant. This is what we have to talk about. Does being in the hood beneficial, or does it hold you back, or is it beneficial? That's a great, thing to talk about. That's great. It's great to get the juices flowing on all of this,
I think being in the hood is only beneficial for those who want to stay stagnant. And I mean, like, stay there. People can argue that and say it's beneficial in other ways, and I'm not arguing that at all. But from my perspective, what you just said, like, it's not beneficial unless you're somebody who wants to be there. And we all know people that'll be like, we all know somebody who's like, this is it for me. Like, I ain't going nowhere. Like, you know what I mean? And I mean, to each his own. That's beneficial to you because you really feel like that. But for a person that wants more of the life, like, I'd rather see what's going on outside of my community that I was in damn near all my life and stuff like that. Like, and judging off of what he said down there, how you even gonna know? Like, you know, inspiration comes from other locations and being in sightseeing, just being out in the world and stuff too. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, and you're also improving yourself by networking with other people. You never know who you're gonna meet. So that's true too. Yeah, other high value Black men who are changing the communities for the better. That, yes. Agreed.
Yeah, that was one of the cool things about the summit. Just meeting other people from across Canada who are working on things in their own communities or areas, you know, trying to establish networks, you know, build resilience, all this stuff is going on.
And we all know a couple people that heard of that summit and probably said, man, I ain't going down to that shit. Like, you know, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, we all know people that act like that, cuz. So, yeah. That's what's up, though.
Somebody was asking me about I'm just letting them know. They were asking me about this link, like, before we first started, and I didn't realize people could jump on. But I'm just letting them know the conversation's still happening. Russell Brooks, he works for municipal government. He's the anti-Black racism coordinator.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's also important not to put the weight of your community on yourself. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It's a heavy weight. It's a heavy weight. And I think a lot to carry and a lot to actually let's so there's this thing that, like, there's almost like survivor's guilt that I've been thinking about, or like feeling like, you know, like I you know, work to get to where I am, and I am where I am, but like some people, even in my family or people who are close to me, maybe, you know, in different situations financially, or even really situationally, they just might be in bad situations. And then, like I was saying before, like I almost feel guilty sometimes, or like I don't want to tell people in my family, like, you know, I just got a raise or promotion, because like they might still be struggling, and like I don't know what other people think, or other communities sort of think that way, because like I've also sometimes like downplayed, or like didn't want to like try to celebrate that I just did something that I thought was cool, because like there was almost like a survivor's guilt of like, man, like, you know, grew up where I grew up, and I didn't want to feel like I was like, I don't know, like I felt guilty almost, just because I just knew that there were so many other people who were in said situations. And so, you know, imagine talking to someone in my family who might not be doing well financially, and then I'm just like, man, I just got a raise. Like I feel guilty saying that, but like the other people feel, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Like you're not trying to brag, you're trying to just, you know, celebrate your own achievements, but at the same time you're feeling like a piece of shit, because it's like, you know, my auntie still needs, like, you know, support, and like still, you know, needs, you know, it's a wild feeling. And also important not to put the weight of your community on yourself. You know, that's why it's important for all of us to sort of, and I'm saying all of us, I'm talking about Black men, Black people, the ones who can, you know, the ones who are able, you know, to share the weight, you know, you know what I'm saying? So not, you know, just you hold it all, D, like, you know, you got the government job, you hold it all. No. We still got to spread it out. We still got to, you know, distribute the weight, so to speak.
Well, here's a question then. What do we mean by weight? When we say weight, what do we mean? Because I think it's a lot. Like there's a lot in there.
Yeah, a lot. And that's it's a good word to choose, because, you know, that the responsibility of a community is heavy. You know, it's heavy. The responsibility of a community, of our people, of, you know, supporting our people is heavy.
It's yeah, like, because I'll say that, and to some people I'm like too Black, and to other Black people I'm not Black enough, or I'm not doing it this way or that way, or this, like, right. All right, like I just like, yeah, like there's, I see this comment, I gotta read it. Oh yeah, no, I agree. Whoever 100%, like I need to know who, like whoever this is, like they're spitting. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. But I mean, it is a lot. Like it's yeah, like it's putting a weight of, or just even like I guess realizing that there's us, there's more, there's other people that like we can actually, if we start moving things together, versus because I can admit, like I would just like put my head down and just try to do a whole bunch of shit by myself, burn myself out, stop.
Yes,
Yeah. When I don't need to. Like there's us, there's a whole network, there's a whole community of people who are all wanting to do the same thing. And no one person should or even has to do it by themselves. I appreciate them comments by 100% true in there.
Me too. I second that. Just based off of, just based off their level of engagement. You know what I mean? It seems like they actually engage in the conversation. They paying attention to what we're saying, and they have their own views and perspective on it. So, respect, 100%.
I bet this is someone I know. I bet it is. I just bet.
And got a clever screen name. I'll tell you, they got a very clever screen name. Good on them.
I got an idea who it is, but I'm not gonna say. I have an idea though.
Yeah, and no, we don't mind those perspectives at all, like different perspectives. We don't never, and I'll just put this out there as like a disclaimer, that we don't ever expect this to be a yes festival. You know what I mean? Where everything we say or everything you say or everything I say is just all yes, that's the greatest. Yes. No, it doesn't have to be no yes festival.
Let me I want to address this comment. Be a man, bro. You're really gonna allow yourself to be made to feel bad for winning. How's it going to encourage you to win more? So it's not that. And I mean, be a man, bro. Like, okay.
We equally say, who are you? Be a man, bro. Tell us who you are.
That's something like, okay. Like, I mean, I don't know, jump on, like the MSN is anyway. So am I really going to allow myself made to feel bad for winning? So the thing is, like, I'll give more context, is that like when like in terms of I suppose my immediate family, like where I am, I might be the most financially secure of everybody. My mom, other people are not in those particular situations. So the guilt that I feel is that I understand and I know the financial struggles that she's been through, and I'm only where I am because of the support and shit that she gave me. And so it makes me feel guilty, regardless if that's me being a man or not. That makes me feel guilty saying to my mom, hey, I just got a raise and this is how much I'm making now, knowing that my mom holistically is in a financially different situation. That's not to say that I'm not supporting and or helping, but or even other family members, not even to just use my mom as a you know what I mean? So I don't think it's about whether I'm being a man or not in the situation. I just think like that's just what the feeling is because of the whole context around the support that I know that my mom or other family members have gave me to help me get to where I am. And they just might not be in a good place mentally or financially or even just in a situation. And so, yes, it definitely encourages me to keep on winning because that's just the feeling that I'm experiencing in my sort of immediate family circle. But I'm going to continue to win. That's just what I'm experiencing and expressing it out loud.
And I just want to say too, like, how many men can say they bought their mother a house? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a man move. That's that's taking care of your shit. That's taking care of your family. That's taking care of everything. Like, that's one of the biggest, if we're getting all manly, that's one of the biggest man moves you can make. You know what I mean? Is putting your mother up comfortable in a house. So, whoever is 100% true, I will keep, clicking on your comments and stuff, but come on, man, you gotta give us something here.
No, I think it's all good. Like, I'm good with it. Like, I'm okay with it. Even if I don't know who the person is or whatever. Like, and why am I taking on the burdens of other people? I think that's actually part of the point of our whole conversation Is that because, so think about that question, right? Like, imagine if we, so Afrocentricity is completely contradictory to that question, I think. Why are you taking on the burdens of other people? I mean, we could go back and we could talk historically around enslavement. Well, why is Harriet Tubman taking on the burdens of other people to get them through, to get them?
Yeah, the whole Underground Railroad. Why is she risking her own life, safety, freedom, and everything she knows to be true and dear to help out a stranger? Why, you know?
I just think that like what we're saying, I think is contradictory to the question. I think maybe I understand where the question might be coming from, but I think it's actually part of the point. You know, when I'm saying lift as you climb, or if I'm getting to, or any of us are really ascending to a different place and position, if I didn't help take on the burden or support the burden of other people, I'd be turning my back completely on my community and or those people that help. So I think it's important to support and to support those burdens that other people might be experiencing.
Yeah. And in my own experience is that I have received, you know, a lot of help from people in my lifetime to help get me where I'm at. No one person got to where they are just walking alone. You know, no one person got to the whatever level of success you're at just by walking alone. People supported you along the way. You know what I mean? Like, you know, your parents, whoever supported you along the way. So, you know, you lifting while you climb, reaching back and taking on the burdens of other people, to me, I don't even see it as a burden. I actually have a value, a personal value of trying to live my life in service to other people. And I don't even take it as a burden. I don't take him, you know, when I drive my grandmother to the grocery store and to the pharmacy and do all this stuff, and then at the end of the trip, take her groceries up the steps and into her apartment for her, that's not a burden to me. There's nothing about that is a burden. It's a service. And I'm glad to do that. You know what I mean? So
I think that, like, I see the comments. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'll keep addressing them, but like, you've been raised to believe that to be selfish is a bad thing. And no. I say all the time, especially to avoid burnout with your mental health, to make sure you take your breaks, self-care, all of the above. I think that there's context to being selfish. And I think that you have to be selfish at points in order to get to certain places or in order to climb. But to be holistically just selfish altogether and not support or not help your community, there's nothing wrong with being competitive and wanting to be ahead. I am, and I want to be, and I'm going to continue to be competitive. I'm highly competitive, but at the same time, with that competitiveness and with I just think that there's really like a responsibility to help and support. So, you know, if the way I'm going about things is unmanly, then that's cool with me. Like, I'll take it. I'm okay with that.
Me too. I would actually take it too. Like, if that makes me less of a man to carry the burdens of others, or to care for the burdens of others, or to shoulder the burdens of others, whatever way we want to put it, you know, I guess I'm a simp and I'm all these other things, because those values matter to me. Listen, whatever. I don't give a shit about none of that shit. I don't give a shit about people saying simp, this or that. That's the other thing. I don't give a shit about none of that. You know what I mean? Like, I know where I stand in my family, in my life, with my peoples. You know what I mean? I feel good about helping other people. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, so none of that could take that. Nothing. None of those labels could take that away.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nixx, you're quiet, man.
I can't. I'm soaking it all in. I don't even know who dude is. I ain't got nothing to acknowledge over there.
It might not even be a dude. Might not even be a...
Right. True. Yes. Limited resources and financial and emotional. We all do.
I'm still waiting for the reveal. What? You have limited resources, financial and emotional. We all do. To what extent are you going to support your community, and what are you getting in return? Bro, here's what I got to say to that. Please pop in and kick some game to us. We may not know what you got to bring to the table. Come in and school us. Let us know what's going on. Give us your perspective why didn't like this chat stuff is cool and all. We need a little more a little more explanation, cuz.
But I think, DeRico is also hitting on some of these things that this person is trying to address. Afrocentricity and the culture of the people that we come from we're not looking at everything with ROI in mind, right? Like we're not looking at every situation that we engage in or every interaction with our community with an ROI in our head. Like, what can I get? What's my return on this investment? You know what I mean? Like we're not processing things in these ways, and that's one of the shifts in consciousness that can help our community transition through some of these rough patches, is that we're not processing everything in a return on investment. ROI stands for return on investment, and it is a very Eurocentric frame of mind. It's like, I'm not putting my money into a place that I'm not getting my money back and more. And what we're talking about here, resources, finances, emotions, is are that's our resources. All these things, finances and emotions and whatnot, those are our resources, and we don't necessarily think about spending our resources in a return on investment situation, right? Like the community is its own investment. So a lot of things that we 100% true you're getting into are good conversations and deep conversations, and conversations that seems like you definitely need to be a part of for real.
Yeah, I agree.
Not hating on you. 100% true. Not at all. But conversations that you definitely need to be a part of. Understanding what you're getting in return. Helping your community, supporting your community. If you've tried it, you'll know what you get in return. You know what I mean? You'll know.
Yeah, I mean, I never like the mindset of kind of give to get. I think that I also think that there, in a lot of sense too, like if you help to support or take care of your community, like the community is also going to support and take care of you. But I'm not doing anything with like, man, I hope that I get something back from this. Like, it's just because I understand a lot of the situations, I've lived it. And if people who gave to me were hoping I was going to give something back, I had nothing to give. Right. There was nothing to give. I just needed someone, and people were there for me.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with paying that forward. You understand? There's nothing wrong with wanting to, to take that coin and pay it forward. So yeah, appreciate the engagement. 100% true. But yeah, please, shuck it up a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's what, Open Perspectives, we about that life, not necessarily, like I said, having just a yes festival, everything. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, great idea. Yes, yes, yes. Don't have to be like that. It don't have to be like that for us to build, All right, Nixx, how you wanna shake it up? How you wanna?
I'm in the comments. I'm waiting for the next question or whatever. There you go. There you go. Support and take care of you. How? Give one example. If you lost your job and went absolutely broke right now, how would your community help you?
I can answer that. So if I lost my job right now, because of the networks, because of the ways that I've supported people, I'm very confident that.
Hey, what's good?
Is this 100% true?
JJ,
what's good?
You're not the screen name 100% true, are you?
Oh, no.
Okay, cool. Just checking. So hold on, we're just gonna let DeRico finish his statement.
Yeah, let me answer that question right quick. So like I said, to give a tangible example, if I lost my job tomorrow, I'm very confident that there's people that I know that I could reach out to within the community who would either give me a job or direct me to people who are hiring. I know I'd be able to find a job within the week to 2 weeks, because like I said, I've supported a lot of people in a lot of different ways, not looking for any return on investment at all. But to kind of answer the question, like that would be a way that, and there's people who have, and I know would financially keep me afloat in a lot of different ways if I reached out to ask. And people have done that for me before. And so that's how the community would, those are some examples. There might be more in terms of how the community would support. Like,
yeah, you want to check out how the community would support me in particular. You can type my name, Alvaro Wiggins. Type me in on Google, and you can see how the community in my time of need came through and supported me. It's live and in effect, full effect. It's all around me. So, type me in, Alvaro Wiggins. I'm just saying.
That's a good, that's actually a good example. It's a good. It is a good.
Are you kidding? Example. Are you kidding? Like, blessed my life. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you gotta think outside the box, man. You gotta think, man. The community, you can't, discount the community. You can't discount the community. Just because, like DeRico's saying, like community may not have a lot to give or may not have anything to give. And, no. You got to start thinking differently. Open your mind up. And I'm glad you're here, to be honest, 100% true. I'm glad you're here taking in these different perspectives, and asking some of the questions.
And who is JJ? Was that someone coming on or did they just leave?
Yeah, I think they maybe just bowed out. But, JJ, you click the link, man. Click it on back if you can. If you need to, come back through.
No,
I didn't even recognize the voice. I didn't even recognize whose voice that was. JJ.
Come give us some words of wisdom before we end up closing out 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, and where are we at now? 2:26. So we're doing real good on time. We had a great conversations. Opened up the panel, had some people come through too. If anybody else, we'll make it like a little last call thing, I guess. Anybody else that, got a perspective or anything they want to share or say something? What's this? I just want to see this last comment here, this next comment. I used to think that too until I lost my job and car and nobody helped me until I found an opportunity in South Korea. Learned a lot. Now I believe in working for myself and for my family. Yeah. We all got different experiences, We all got different experiences. And, that opportunity for you in South Korea seems like it panned out, worked out for you,
Absolutely.
Would you teach out there or what you do? What was the opportunity?
I love to go to South
Korea. See the light.
I would love to go to South Korea. I'd be all over South Korea.
My cousin D used to work out there. He was teaching for a minute. In Seoul.
Wait, do I still got that music playing in the background? I didn't even realize that.
It kind of worked though. It worked.
But yeah, man. Rico, I just want to say today has been super dope building with you. I learned a lot more. I always knew you was doing your thing. Seen you, like I was telling Wiggins, I only ever really seen you in passing sometimes randomly, but still, like, it feels like I ain't seen you in forever. I actually never got to actually sit down and talk and build with you and, catch up and see what you're up to. I had the pleasure of doing that today. And I want to say thanks for, coming on and, teaching me about some of the things that you've been into. I've learned some things from you today too as well, and I thank you for that.
Appreciate it, brother. Time is a weird way of kind of bringing things back around, because I've so I start with Alvaro first, because there was things around the house and the situation, I got kind of pulled into some of it. So I know what you're talking about, intimately, when you're saying what you, and so I didn't get to see you since the summit. So then when I seen you at the summit, I was like, oh shit, I didn't know you're into photography. I didn't know you do all that. So then now we're back on the podcast. And then now with Nixx, I don't remember the last time I saw you, but what I know is that we were meant to have this conversation. Tyler jumped in, and now I know we're going to be connected in some other way because I've been connected to a lot of Tyler's projects and the things that he does and the things that he speaks about. So I just think that Tom has a weird way of bringing people back together because, like, I knew y'all in high school. Like, it's weird. So, like, I'm thankful to be on the podcast and really having an opportunity just to like break bread and chop it up, like, and especially in this format. Like, I've never done this format before. Like, this is dope. Like, this is dope. And so I'll be sharing this. I'll be promoting it. I'm appreciative of the time, and as well the knowledge and wisdom that y'all got. This is cool for me.
We appreciate you too, brother, for sure.
I'll say one quote that's one of my favorites is the tallest mountains have the best views. And it's literally and figuratively, because you've been hiking, man, it's hard as shit to get to the top, but once you get there and get a good look, like,
beautiful,
it's amazing. One of my favorite quotes: tallest mountains have the best views.
We love it. You've dropped plenty of gems on us. I just want to thank you for the support. Thank you for coming through. Man, appreciate it. Everything was great. I don't know what else there is really to say besides, much love and great appreciation, and keep all going. We are gonna keep it all going. We're gonna keep it going. You keep it going. Let's just, and keep linking up and figuring things out and sending people each other's way. Like, whenever we get the opportunity.
We're gonna have to have you back too, because you use a moving machine, so you're probably gonna have a lot more to talk about in the next month or two.
I'm in. I got some stuff I'm cooking. I just once the recipe's put together and it's ready to get fried up, then yeah. But I do have an idea that I am working with.
That's what's up, man. For real. All right.
Anytime, we'd love to come back. So I'm gonna promote this. I got some people who you also might want to have on.
We will definitely be in touch about that. I'll definitely be in touch about that. You know what I mean? Keep the lines open. Yeah, and just get some more voices out here. One thing we really want to do too is focus on some women, get their voices on here, different types of people, artists, elders, scholars, doctors, everything, people on the streets. We got a lot in store.
I'm gonna just throw out there my fiance Shanae. She's doing a lot of shit in the community for Black women. Shanae Parsons, she'd be cool to have on. She's manager at Halifax Public Libraries of Eastern District, so that's North Preston, East Preston, Cherrybrook, Lake Loon, all of the above. She's just about to finish her master's in women's leadership. So I'm gonna put it out there. You can call me biased, but she's equally, if not doing better shit than me. So I'm gonna throw it.
Let's go. So man, that'll be I'll definitely reach out for you.
Got one on the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bunch of people I'll give you. So we'll chat offline, and then I'll send a bunch of names, contact information, everything.
All right, man. Well, this has been great. I respect you. Appreciate everything. Thank you for joining us. Nixx.
All right.
Thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to part 2 too, because I know you got a lot more to say, bro.
Definitely appreciate it, brothers. And I've been saying this just most recently with shit happening, man. Take care, be safe, and it's love always.
Oh, most def, you too. Likewise, bro.
Cool.
Same to you.
Thank you. All right. Until next time.
Yeah, peace. Yeah. Did you mean it? Okay, there we go. I was like, did you mean it? But 100% true. Really quick to just close out with some of the, you're originally from South Africa, and one of your last comments was that you went to South Korea to find some opportunity and stuff like that. Thank you for coming through. I would love to hear about, if you come back, you get a chance, your experiences in South Africa, what was going on there,
Maybe we can get you on if you're up for it.
Yeah, someday, you want to come through, you can come through. But yeah, man, we appreciate everybody checking us out today, coming through for another great episode, a long one, but a good one.
Yeah. It was a goodie. Long, but it was a goodie.
Yeah, long one, but a good one. For me, how I would just like to close out today just by saying, you know, find your balance. You know, that's my little takeaway. Find your balance, because, you know, everything that we said, there is a balance to it all. You know, helping your community, helping yourself, reaching higher goals, lifting while you climb. There is a balance to it all. So find your balance, find your personal balance, what works for you. You know, so that's just my small takeaway for today.
My small takeaway is gonna piggyback right off Wiggins and say, you said find your balance, right? Yeah, well, find your balance, but also mind your mental. Not monumental, mind your mental. Because if you ain't good up there, your equilibrium's gonna be off, period. So think about that. Find your balance and mind your mental. Take that with you to the bank.
All right. Well, yeah, another great show. Peace.
Peace out. Right. Open perspectives. Stay open, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, man. Check us out. Peace.
One.